Good evening, everyone. It's Monday night, and we have reached day 2 of the October Championship events. Leigh, it feels like it's taken us a month to get here.
That's because it has. It has been another month.
We're in November.
October has come and gone, officially come and gone, and we're at the conclusion of another week of leaderboard ladders, another championship weekend, and I'll tell you what, we got a cracker tonight, Des, because the players, so many names you'll recognise in the final 2 tables of both the No Limit Hold'em and the PLO tonight. It is going to be a cracking stream. Get in the chat. Give us some shout outs. Let us know you're there. Let us know who you're rooting for tonight. We'll run through all the details, but it's going to be an absolute stonker of a show.
Get in the stream. You heard what the man said. Let's hear from you tonight, guys. 1st of November. I can't believe it. It's November. And we've got some cracking names in there, Leigh. So how do you want to sort of proceed? Do you want to talk through some of the names? Should we get a table up? What do you want to do?
I'll tell you what I'll quickly do. Let me quickly, first of all, let's run through the 2 events from last night that concluded the October Deep Stack. Ended up with 56 runners in that. Top of the table, one Brian Yates. Now, I don't know whether you've come across this guy.
I've heard this guy. He's an up-and-coming player, is what I hear.
He's an up-and-coming player. Got a bit... he likes to, he's from one for sort of training players and, bringing them through that kind of thing, but he's got a bit of game himself. Anyway, he picked up $571, beating Jamie Waterson heads up, with Michael Riley finishing in 3rd place. So very well done to Brian.
Nice one.
In the closer, the 9 o'clock one, the turbo that we always play, that was heads up Chris Jones against Gordon MacArthur. Chris got the better of Gordon heads up and scooped just over $400 for his efforts. Gordon picked up $250. Sweet. And Dan Austin finished in 3rd place, picking up just about $170 for his efforts last night. So the reason I mentioned Dan Austin, Dan Austin is in the main event tonight. He's in one of the 2 tables remaining. We've got 16 players back for the No Limit Hold'em main event tonight. 5K guarantee, where we end up with $5,130 in the prize pool. There are 104 runners. We're down to 16. We're just in the money. It was paying top 17, so we are just in the money now. And so we're going to basically keep an eye on this for the next hour. Then, obviously, hopefully by then, we'll be getting close to final table on that. And then the PLO will recommence. That's got 14 runners coming back in that. We're one usual thing, Des. We're one shy of the payout in that. So, as always...
It's costing us a fortune, Leigh. There's one shy, it's costing us a fortune. It was a great idea at the start, but it's costing us money now, Leigh.
If you are the 14th player out, Steve Redfern, who's playing poolside tonight, couldn't get out of swimming training, so he's playing poolside. If you're out in 14th, you're the unlucky one that's bagged up chips from last night, had a good night's sleep in the hotel overnight, come back today, opened your bags up, counted the few chips you've got, and find you bust very early in 14th. We will give you a $33 ticket as a consolation for having made it to day 2, but not getting in the money.
Leigh, it's not about the consolation ticket, my friend. I don't care how big your bag is. That's what it's about tonight.
Exactly. It is all about medals. Both of these events are going to be APAT medals for the top 3, gold, silver, and bronze. You can claim those just by contacting myself if you're in the top 3 positions, and we'll get them out in the post to you at the moment. But that's what it's all about. I completely agree. There is money up top, and it's not small amounts of money up top. And let's not be kidding anyone here. The No Limit Hold'em event has got $1,280 up top. The PLO has got $1,134 up top. So 4-figure sums for whoever scoops tonight, either of those events. But we will focus on the No Limit Hold'em to start with. Hopefully we have got the two tables up, so you can you can see. Hopefully you can see them. Okay, we tried to get them in. Try something a little bit different this month, so we can get both tables in, so you can keep an eye on everything that's going on.
Just twice the drama.
5 minutes in, Des, and we've still got 16 players in. What's going on here?
They're all pros. So listen, Brian Yates, I have a question. Now that he's officially retired from his postie job, is he technically a pro now? Can we ban him and get that money back?
That's very true.
Can we do that?
Very true. Yeah. He could well be the situation.
I think he's a pro. I think he's a pro.
Could
Listen,
well
we've got
be.
a few people in the chat box, Leigh. They're being quiet at the moment, pretty quiet. But Mr. Tony Ross, of course, is there. This is payday for Tony, typically on the week. Naz is there as well. Alex Moguklin is there. One Scouse Bailiff is there. Roddy, the farmer, is in. Great to see you, Roddy. Freddie is in from Germany. Good to see you, Freddie. Andrew Bell is there. Mr. Alston says, yes, he is. Yes, he is. So there you go. So Dan is with us. Tony says, evening all. Dan says, can you please let Scouse know how many medals behind me he is? He'd like to know. Well, I'm not sure we can get involved in that, can we? We've got Derek Lawman is in there, and Roddy says, good evening, strangers. Hope you're all well, and good luck everyone tonight. So it's nice to have a few friendly faces there, Leigh, I'll tell you.
It sure is. So let's just mention some of those names that are in this final 16 before we lose anything. So chip leader going to this was Alexis Andre from Luxembourg. So he was chip leader. So Naz has made a number of these final tables. He's
done very well.
Months. He's fourth in chips. Fifth in chips going into this today was Callum Williams, new to the group. Posted up in the group earlier on, so good luck to you tonight, Callum. Jared Harrogate, who's obviously Irish player that's been playing APAT for a long time. Dan Austin is in there as well. Billy Johnston is one of the shorter stacks, but still in there. We lost, unfortunately. First out for the cash last night, but bubbled of the day two was Richard Rudling Smith. But did
had a good run fairly recently.
Yeah. So, but well done to Rich anyway, because it's another cash and more points for the leaderboard this week. Looks like we've got some action here. Raised from David Hefner to 29,000, and Roman pretty much went away. He left 134 chips behind, but he was pretty much was as good as all in. So I would imagine we're going to get a little bit of movement quite early on here. Blinds are currently at 8,000 and 16,000. So some of the shorter stacks here now, certainly Stefan Weber and Fabricio and Alan, even Philippe, both Philippe and Philip are all playing, around the kind of 10, 12 bigs at the moment. So I'd imagine we're going to see some action. Billy Johnson in the chat says present. Yeah, very much present and correct. Good luck to you tonight, Billy.
Good evening, Billy. And touch it wood, it goes well for you. Tris Chaplin is there as well. And Scouse says, not behind yet. You're still behind me. Oh, it's like Halloween has never gone away with these two. It's behind me.
Interesting pot here. So Alexis has raised it up to 32,000, just twice the big blind. And Jared's gone all in. Alexis has got the stack, his chip leader. So certainly he's going to have the stack to call this off. Be about a quarter of his stack. A little bit more than a quarter of his stack. But having a think about this, time bank ticking down. And decides to let that one go. So Jared wins that one.
Callum's out there. He says, first APAT, first medal in sight. You got a way to go yet, Callum. You got a way to go.
I love the way he said earlier on on Facebook. He said, I'm in the mix. I certainly think 5th out of 16 going into a day two is very much in the mix. Yeah, I think an important ingredient of that mix. I think it's a fair thing to say. Anybody that's in the sort of top 6 or so certainly put themselves in a good spot. But this is where it counts. As the money starts going up, this is where it really counts. And obviously, we always have that thing where we get close to those medals. Some people have been, could be years trying to just get close to the chance of a medal. And Callum could possibly do it first attempt.
My precious.
It's very good. It's very good. You got to be careful when you're that good with your impressions. We'll get taken down. Yeah, Lord of the Rings. Right. They're a funny bunch.
Oh no, that wasn't Lord of the Rings. That was Steve Roderick.
Oh right, okay, that's fine. That's all right then. Yeah.
Did you not get the Welsh hint in it?
Yeah, well, you have been away for a week, haven't you?
I have actually. Well, a couple of days, not a week. No such joy.
And to be fair, you did spend a chunk of it in Liverpool as well.
I did. Yeah. Oh,
so keeping an eye on both tables here. Stefan's made it's an obvious shove to make. really, even though you've got the big stack. And well, he's been called by Isaac in the small stack. And yeah, Stefan's got sevens. The sevens at risk, and there's clubs on the board as well.
Home and hosed.
And he avoids, though, 7 on the turn. He did need the 7 on the turn in the end with the ace on the river, which would have given Isaac a better hand. But Stefan doubles up through Isaac Carlisle.
Nicely done, sir. And of course, that's the difference between losing a few and you know, it seeming to, you know, take a little while, Leigh. And that is, you're going to win your all-ins if you're behind.
Yeah, I mean, Stefan there. Yeah, Stefan there with what 10 bigs. It folds round to him on the button. He's got pocket sevens. He must just be thinking, well,
happy days.
It's just a shove and keep your fingers crossed, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, you're hoping for a call in that position, a little race. I'll take that. Pocket pair.
So on we go. Alexis is already, you know, just applying a bit of pressure here, using the big stack, but he keeps coming up against Gerard, who's having none of it. It's the second time now, a raise from Alexis, and Gerard's like, right, okay, we'll play for chips. We'll get these in and see what you want to do. So don't forget, PLO starts 8 o'clock with one Brendan Byrne, chip leader. Going into that, he's got pretty much twice the stack of anybody else. Second in chips there is Paul Haycock, England, the longest serving England
ever in any sport
of all time. Yeah. One day
fantastic.
he will get to actually captain his side in this tournament. It will happen.
It'd be so funny if we give it to somebody else, Leigh. So you've had your twist.
Yeah,
come on now. You've had it for 2 years. One Michael Riley has joined us, so hope you're well, Michael, and our old mate Yanni. Yanni's out there as well, and Mr. Harry is also on the call. He's listening in.
So Yanni's still in the PLO. So okay. So we've got that to come from 8 o'clock, and obviously Michael Riley finished third in the deep stack last night.
Nice work, Michael.
$230. So good work, and has had some good runs in leaderboard ladders as well in recent times. So.
Do you remember Gerard as a wee lad running around DTD with the rest of the Northern Ireland crew, hair down to his shoulders, his flowing golden locks? Do you remember that, Leigh? A young
golden
lad.
Locks.
Well, golden. I mean
they were
well, unwashed,
goldenish.
Unwashed,
goldenish. Yeah.
Oh, happy days. 2010, 2009, 2010. Crikey, how the time has flown.
Yeah, exactly. So we should mention that the guys are all those that are playing leaderboard ladders this week, which is actually is anybody that's cashed in a tournament this week. You get points added to the leaderboard, finish in the top 20, and you get added value tickets. Stay in the top 20, and those value of those tickets goes up from a $5.50 right up to being worth $55. So well worth getting involved in. If you want to just go on the website, you'll see the rankings section, look for the weekly leaderboards, and you'll find it there. Currently, everybody's trying to chase down Mark Winsell at the moment. He's got 190 points. He's had 4 cashes this week so far. Obviously, we're happy, Des, because he's a step oneer, so we're good.
Beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, as we're watching Philip there end up with quad jacks against the chip leader and gets a full double up through Alexis. So looks like at the moment the triple ticket winner. So if you finish in first place on the leader, again, you get 3 tickets. Finish second, third, fourth, or fifth, you get 2 tickets, and then 6th to 20th, you get 1 ticket. So yeah, we're always happy when it's a step oneer at the top of the table.
Honestly, it's like Christmas. It is like Christmas.
Very much so. Very much so. That's the idea. So I saw on Saturday night, Rob Needham played both of the PKO events on Saturday night and had a bounty on his head. And he couldn't get he was giving away a couple of copies of his book, and he couldn't. And neither of them knew who he was.
Listen, it's a clear sign that people are not happy with the outcome of book 3. Right? It's an objection. Just rewrite the second half of that book, and we'll be fine. We'll take it.
So Stefan Webber's got aces. He's up against Damio's ace queen, and there's not going to be much help there for Damio. We're finally going to lose one. Just on the other table, Callum Williams made the shove and got it through against Philip Muller and Stefan. So finally, we lose a player. First one to depart tonight is Damio in 16th place. Will pick up $103, and that means an ever so slight pay increase by about $14 now for those remaining players. But finally, we lose one. Normally, we start these on a Monday night, and it goes crazy for kind of 15-20 minutes. But it's got very tight tonight.
The only thing that's reasonably certain is that we'll tend to finish at around the same time every time we do this. So yeah, it might be a bit crazy at the start, or it might be slow, but at some point it's going to bite.
Exactly. So Philip Muller this time making the shove on the lower table, and gets that one through against Stefan and Naz.
Billy is happy with that $13 ladder. He's already sort of planning.
He spent it already.
How to get rid of that.
You should be saving it up. It's nearly Black Friday. You just got to just hold back. That $13 will be worth so much more in a few weeks' time. Honestly, you'll go on, and there'll be stuff that you never knew you really wanted, and afterwards you'll realize you didn't want it at all.
That's right.
But,
that's half a battery charge at that. Just hold on to the other half.
One of those good ones that you didn't. Yeah, that
20,000. It charge your phone for like 3 days. Just what you need.
Oh, perfect. You'll be fine. Where's the time gone? I can't believe October's absolutely flown by. Halloween sort of came and went. Did you do anything for Halloween last night? Or you were busy driving back down south?
We were driving through the rain.
We don't get any. We don't get anything here because we live on an unmade road, so there's no street lights. There's potholes all down the road. So the kids don't even bother. 10 years we've been here and never had a trick or treater in 10 years.
Fantastic, absolutely brilliant.
I mean, it could be the barbed wire and fence I put up every year, but I don't know. That might be it. But that was okay. It was good fun last night because so obviously we didn't do a show, but I was sat in front of the bank of screens here at home, watching the APAT events coming in. I had a couple of the Twitch streamers on because obviously they were going a bit crazy for Halloween. Watched a couple of the guys playing Grand Theft Auto, who were all the police are dressed up for the night in Grand Theft Auto, and some crazy stuff. There's some good stuff actually on Twitch at the moment. They've been doing a version of Squid Game, I think in Grand Theft Auto. So they designed.
Please be real.
They've designed the threat. Everything. So they've all got the right outfits, and it's nuts. Absolutely nuts to watch. Very, very entertaining. Yeah, so last night on Grand Theft Auto, there was one of the police she was dressed up as a bunny girl on the back of a police motorcycle, driving around the city trying to catch whoever. Yeah. Did
you get any screen grabs, Leigh? You can send me.
No, definitely no screen grabs. No. So it was quite amusing. There's some horror shows on some of the slot streamers last night. A lot of money was lost last night. So a bit of a brutal one, I think, for some of them, which is not good.
That's the reality.
I had to laugh. A few of the poker streamers made a bit of an effort. Spraggy made a tiny bit of an effort. He put a couple of cobwebs as an overlay on his. That was it. That was pretty much on a spider hanging down. That was your lot. It's like no expense spared. Yeah.
That's funny right there.
So Callum's pretty much all in again. He's left himself 1,208 behind, but that 250,000 in the middle is pretty much all of his stack. 2 players to get through. David is got well covered, but Billy Johnson in the big blind is the shortest at that table in not chip stack and probably genuine height. Unfortunate, but he lets it go. And,
Billy's not short. What are you talking about?
No, Billy's not short. Well, he's not the tallest.
No, he's not short.
He's not the tallest of lads, though, is he?
Well, yeah, you're all right. Like you're 6'6" or something. What?
Well, yeah. I'm not suggesting Billy uses his $13 to go and buy some
platform shoes
or something like that.
Poor Billy.
Oh dear. So Tony Rossi in chat says, so did anyone watch The Long Call on ITV? Set in a beautiful seaside town. I wonder
The
which
long
beautiful
call.
seaside town he could be referring to, Des.
I've not heard of that particular program, so I don't know.
I haven't, but I'm
Yeah.
going to assume it's Ilfracombe. I may be
No,
wrong.
really?
I may be wrong, but I'm going to
Wow.
assume. Tony, Tony doesn't post
No.
without an agenda. Yeah, there's a reason for posting in the chat like that. I'm guessing it might be something to do with Ilfracombe. Might
Do
be completely
tell.
wrong. Might not
Do
be.
tell Tony.
So Billy says, 6 foot, I'll have you know. Just fat, so I look short.
Oh dear, that afflicts a lot of us. That particular look, Billy.
Yanni's straight in with Ilfracombe. So obviously it is Ilfracombe. So I don't know what is the long call. I don't not heard of it. Oh, just while we're watching Ace King versus Ace King. Oh, his club's on the board though. Oh, a third club for Stefan, and that's going to be that's going to be another one. Another one bites the dust, unfortunately.
So
that is very unfortunate. I've had that happen to me once before. The Ace King versus Ace King and the flush hits. Not a huge amount you can do. So we lose Fabrizio in 15th place. So we're down to 14.
Lucky
now.
sir. So I'm gonna take a shot at it. The Long Call, Leigh, is a 4-part mini-series on ITV where the second best poker player in Ilfracombe, right, calls the Samaritans because he truly believes he's the first based on results, but he just can't get the credit for it. What do you think?
It could be that. Just watching Gerard with pocket 8, and he's hit an 8, which means he's going to get a double up through Stefano. So his newly won chips don't last very long, and he's passed them across the table to Gerard. Of course, it could be. It could just be the long call. It could just be how long it takes for Tony to use his time bank in a PLO8 game. I mean, it could be as simple as that.
Like
it's
that.
just
It's
a very long call. Yeah,
I think either of those two could be right.
Yeah, so Mr. Redfern reminds me it was Luton. Yes, if anybody wants to go, wasn't just Luton, it was against Stu Ward. That's how bad the Ace King versus Ace. But I've got over it. It was only about 10 years ago. We're okay. I'm well past it now. But yeah, a lot going on that weekend. But Stu went on to win the tournament actually. So
I remember that 2009, right?
Yeah,
November
so,
2009. Rich Baker at the final table there, and Silky Burkhart. I seem to remember.
Yeah, Philip all in with ace 3 against Dan Howson's King Queen. Dan needs to hit. And what about a way to get there?
Ooh.
He gets there on the river for the straight with the jack. 10 and the 9 already on the board. Jack on the river gives Mr. Austin a double up and a little bit of breathing space now.
That's half a pair of Nikes secured from 1973.
He doesn't. He's not. He doesn't do Nikes, does he?
Doesn't he? Is he just Adidas?
I think he's a one brand. I think he's a one brand man.
Wow. Okay.
I'm pretty sure he's a one brand man. Yeah. Dan did our quiz on Friday night.
How'd he do? Smart cookie. Dan.
He doesn't know much about horror movies. In fact, he knows very little about horror movies. If he knew a bit about horror movies, he'd have won the whole thing. But yeah, didn't. Unfortunately, we've got an all in, and we're going to get a call.
Here we go.
Ace King versus King Queen. It's the King Queen at risk. Going to need to be a queen, and it's not. And so Naz is going to bust Philip Muller, and we're now down to 13 players, starting to pick up a little bit here. Yeah,
you just knew Naz had to be super strong to make that call there. He's got to love that Queen King to find himself up against.
Yeah, see, there you go. Dan's in the chat saying, "Do not swear about mentioning Nike." Yeah. Are you a Nike or a Nike? Do you do the E on the end?
I probably do. I'm probably a Nike.
Do you?
Yeah.
You're a Nike?
I don't know if I couldn't tell you whether it's
I don't know which
right
is right
approach or not.
Which is I don't know. Let us know in the chat. You're Nike or Nike? Yeah, let us know in the chat. Which is there must be a right way of doing it. I'm assuming there must be.
I love the
you get some brands though that you pronounce wrong. I used to pronounce so the washing machine Miele, German company, Miele. I've always pronounced it Miele until last year when I found it's Mila.
Detail.
Yeah.
I told you. I told you on a previous episode of the APAT Show in Ireland, we used to call Peugeot Peugeot,
wasn't it?
Oh, it's a
Peugeot.
fucking Peugeot. What are you talking about? With your
Peugeot?
mock French accent, it's a Peugeot.
Yeah. So yeah. Steve Redford says it's Nike, not Nike. Or then again, he might say it's Nike, not Nike. I'm not sure which way around it is, but yeah.
Can you send a little voice message, Steve, please?
Yeah.
That's the only way this is going to work.
So yeah, so it looks like this the TV program was set in Ilfracombe. Lovely. Well, Ilfracombe is beautiful. Just don't go there in a rainy weekend in October because it's not up to much.
I would love to.
But I'm sure with the sun is shining in the summer, and the mini golf open, I'm sure it's brilliant. We did have a nice weekend there, though. Actually,
Yeah, I mean the weather was fantastic on Saturday. I have to say, certainly up in Liverpool,
Yeah.
it was amazing.
yes, shame the football didn't quite go as.
Well, you get that.
Well, you were 3-0 up, weren't you? Got all in the call, ace 10 at risk here, and it's going to be good for Philippe, and he's going to get a double up through Alexis. Alexis was chip leader coming into this, and yeah, it's not really gone according to plan. Doubled, although was picked up some chips as well, but certainly he's doubled up 2 or 3 players in the process. So yeah, now got their work cut out. That's for sure. So we're about half an hour away from the PLO starting up. So those guys will be limbering up at the moment. I'm assuming Brendan has got some sort of pre-tournament ritual that he works
he's probably
through.
doing push-ups and
all
sorts of pull-ups and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Doing a couple of verses of Gangnam Style, and then when he's fully motivated, he'll be right in there. Tony's saying here, I think he's directing this at you, Leigh. I'm sure he is. He says, to be fair, you struggle pronouncing Ilfracombe.
Do you need to? Does it need the extra ooh?
I think so.
Is that what it
there's
needs?
a lot of he's put a lot of O's in there. There's a lot of O's.
Yeah. Needs a few extra in there. Yeah, you boys thought you were 3-0 up and switched off on Saturday.
Well, we were 2. We unfortunately we didn't get the third one.
Yeah, the Mane. Yeah, but it felt like it was like as if it was like I mean, it was comfortable, wasn't it?
Look,
really?
I could tell you surgically what went wrong, but honestly, we don't have the time. That's not a discussion you could start without carving out a 30 or a 40-minute window where you can go through it in some detail. But it was always nice to be there.
Atmosphere was good. I thought Brighton made a real good game of it and made it interesting.
They're a good team. They're a really good team. Very tidy.
Yeah.
Very tidy.
Yeah. Well, they talk about, I mean, I don't know where it's come from, but the media certainly in the last few months have been talking about Potter as, potential England manager at some point down the line.
He's done a good job. He's done it. Yeah. He spent 60 million in summer, and he's brought in 3 or 4 really, really good players. They're very niche. They know their jobs. You just can't argue with it. They played well, and I think they're a good contender for top 6, top 7, and a European spot this season. I think, as are West Ham, obviously having a great season, and it's some of the more established teams and like the Spurs and stuff struggling a bit.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be a cracking season. I do think there's so much more to go with it. It'll be interesting. As Dan busts Callum. Unfortunately, it's not going to be for Callum.
Callum.
Going to finishing with $117, but not to be first APAT event though. But it's a nice cash. So well done to you.
Billy's in the chat box. Leigh, he said, I chatted to Brendan at the IPO. Lucky these days if he can pull up his trousers as a PLO warm up. Obviously, Billy was talking to Mr. Brendan in an alleyway or something. They obviously it was a £25 spend from the state of that comment. Poor Brendan can't pull his pants up these days.
Well, Brendan was dealing at the IPO.
He was indeed
last weekend, working hard, and as every single one of them that was, I'm saying, I know
great tournament.
It really is, hugely good tournament, and and say dealers at the moment is something which is massively, everyone is struggling to get hold of. So those guys that are dealing at the moment, I know they'll be working extra hours, extra hard to get this tournaments on at the moment. So hats off to all of them.
Well, young Callum is out there and says, sorry, Leigh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, and and the players were okay sitting at the tables without masks at the IPO, but all the dealers had to wear masks for the duration.
Yeah, that's uncomfortable.
So it's fair play to them all. Love to know from Brendan what his experience of it was like. Be interested to know.
I'm sure we'll hear from him before the evening is out. Callum is in the chat box after going out. Says good game. Tony says well done, Callum. Scouse is there. Oh, here's that 20 or 30 minutes that we need to carve out. Leigh, would you have rather lost against Spurs, Leigh, and had Conte as your manager?
No. Don't want Conte as United manager. No. No, I'm glad, happy with the performance, happy with the win. It's it's another 3 points. As I said the other week, I don't think there's anybody out there at the moment that is going to massively improve, United from a coaching point of view. I really don't think there is a big name out there that's available at the moment that we could just go and snap up. So at the moment we sit tight. I don't want to be just sacking managers for the sake of it. We've had a number of bad results. The Liverpool's result wasn't actually the kind of the issue really. It was the games before that. Anyone can be turned over by Liverpool 5-0, a superb side, but it was the performances before that, and he maybe he is turning it around. Maybe it's that was the start of something. Although Spurs were poor on the weekend.
Yeah, it's a big week for him. He's got City on the weekend, and he's got a European game, Atalanta away. And Atalanta, despite the fact that you tonked them in the second half in the first sort of match, 3-2, I think it finished. I think they're a decent team. They're going to be tough. Yeah,
they're decent. They drew 2-2 on the weekend with the last minute equaliser against Napoli. I think I want to say maybe, but. I'd say we should be turning those over. If the players have got the right attitude and he sets them up properly, would love to have seen what would have happened if we'd have put the team we put out against Spurs against Liverpool. I certainly don't think we'd have been conceding early goals, and that would have completely changed the dynamic of the game. We might well have still lost the game. Not saying we wouldn't.
Cavani was the
Varane is at the back as well.
Was he?
Yeah. So Cavani and Varane were the two. So whether it would have made any difference, I don't know. But it's been and gone now. Not going to worry about it too much. So,
the only thing I can tell you is, as a Liverpool fan, I'm sure Scouse would back me up on this, and Gerard, who's out there, is a Liverpool fan as well, I know, and he's happy about this. Tell me how good did it feel? Is that we're quite happy to see Ollie remain at the wheel. I think he can do better, Leigh. I really do. And I understand your point about availability and what have you, but sometimes you just have to go out and get these guys. You have to.
But who would you get? Who would you get? That's the question.
I think honestly, I don't know whether Ollie's positioned himself to be really friendly with the guys, or whether he lacks that bit of authority. But I don't know. But anybody who would be able to go into the dressing room and put their foot down a bit, really, because we know that team has the talent. There's no question about the individuals. They're lacking something, and it's where else can that something be found other than in organisation and motivation and stuff like that?
Yeah, but you say about friendly with the players and stuff. Klopp comes across as pals with the players and all this, and say he doesn't come across as a hitting them with a stick if they're not.
You can tell that Klopp has a ruthless streak. You
really?
just need to put Liverpool on at midday on a
Saturday.
Permanently
grinning.
Klopp I think is very honest. I think he will.
I think
he'll absolutely.
I think Klopp's spitting image character.
Does he have a spitting image character?
Have you not seen it?
No.
Oh, Des, you are missing a treat. An absolute treat. They have got him nailed.
Are they really? Oh, I got to look out for that.
Absolutely Brilliant.
I
Yeah.
have got to look out for that. Well, listen, we've got a whole lot of.
It's very, 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 very cheery. Doesn't matter what's happening. Always looking positive. Always be like, oh no, it's great. Yeah, it's very.
I think
very
that's Klopp in front of the camera. I don't think anybody believes that he's like that all the time in the dressing room. So Mr. Redfern's out there. They don't need anyone else. Ollie's at the wheel, hopefully for a few more years. Jared says Ollie's at the wheel. Scouse said Fergie was close to being sacked too. Don't forget. Yeah, you never know.
Mark,
absolutely.
Mark Robbins, third round of the FA Cup. I think if we'd have lost that game, I think Fergie would have been gone.
Was that
just
was that
watching
92?
David Hefner with ace 2 against the Jacks of Roman here, and Roman's going to get a double up. So it would have been. It was the year that we won the cup against Palace, which would have been 91. So that game would have been beginning of 90. Oh no, 1990 actually it might have been.
Was it? Well, yeah. I mean, I remember it. I have to say, I remember the pressure on.
And but remember, Fergie had come in November of '86, so he'd have been there. He'd been 4 years in that job, clearing out a lot of deadwood in the squad and trying to build but spent some big money. We'd signed some big names. Pallister came in for big bucks. There was a lot of money being spent at the time.
What did you make of Roy Keane sort of his impersonation of Harry Maguire? Sort of, I don't want to see anybody come out and apologizing. Like, don't be apologizing. Like, do your job on the field. Brilliant. Love it.
There's a few Roy Keane things. Brilliant. So the stuff that the David Lapkin's been doing lately, whether if you don't follow him on Twitter, if you don't follow David Lapkin, follow him on Twitter, because the stuff he's been the poker related Roy Keane stuff is brilliant. But I finally got through all of Ted Lasso now. And
fantastic.
Yeah, right? just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Those lads
nailed the character superbly.
Listen, talking about characters, a character from the past, Greg Mawson is out there. Welsh international in the last WCIP, right? Medal winning. Good evening, gold medal winning evening. Greg says, good evening, lads. Not been on for a bit, so may have missed WSOP chat. We're going to talk about the World Series of Poker tonight, Leigh. As Benny Glazer from Leigh, Wiltshire's neck of the woods, is he? Now I know Benny Glazer. Now he, I'm sure, does live in England. I think he's American from memory, but I am not sure what the reference is to your neck of the woods. Leigh.
Oh no, he's from Southampton.
Is he? Is he a Southampton lad? I thought he was American.
Yeah, he's from Southampton. Yeah.
Okay, well his name's been around for a while. I don't know if Benny's done anything at the World Series of Poker this I think he
season. Did he not pick up a? Oh no, actually he hasn't. I think his bracelets are all from about 5 years ago.
Yeah,
unless he's picked up a recent one this year that's not yet been updated. Might well have done. Yeah, possibly. But yeah, he's just looking at his Wikipedia page, and it's got Southampton, Hampshire down as his residence. So
So let us know, Greg, what the link there, if it is. Oh, so if it is Southampton, that's it. So Mr. Byrne is in chat. He worked as a floor position, so not dealing at the IPO this year. Initially a bit scary, 400 people in the room is a huge change to the recent normal, but very quickly settled in. That's good to hear, Brendan. Glad to see that all went off well. And nice to see Brendan getting a floor position. That's good, moving up in the world. And Scouse comes back on Klopp. He said he does hammer his players. He's had a fallout with Virgil van Dijk after Saturday. He didn't play the tactics Klopp wanted. Fair enough.
Right. Okay. Stefan's all in with Jack 9, and it's Alan at risk with the King 10. Just needs to hold, and does, and going to get through. Oh, so Benny Glazer's just had a 9th place finish in the the 10K horse championship, and a 3rd place finish in the no limit do 7 low ball championship.
Nice.
So he's picked up about 150k. Actually finished second in the 25k horse event as well. For 340k. Super. And he won the 3k pot limit Omaha back in July at the Win for another 102,000. So yeah, he's cleared over 500,000 so far this summer in cashes. Well, Isaac's all in with King Queen against Jared Ace 10. It's the King Queen at risk, and we are going to lose Isaac Carlisle. He's going to depart in 12th place, so we're down to 11.
Look, Jared's up to 1.2 million now. How quickly did that happen?
Yeah, absolutely. Flying through, and is our chip leader now.
So, oh, hello. Here we go. David's pushed all in on table 2 there. Alan was all
Oh, he's
in
called off Alan's. Yeah, Alan's shorter than him
initially.
stack wise. So it's 8 at risk. He's running to 10. It's going to need to be an 8. Or running. No, actually running diamonds isn't going to be there either. It's going to need to be an 8,
No good.
and he's not going to get there. So we're going to lose Alan as well. So we are now down to 10, getting close to that final table.
I guess it's beginning to bite a bit now, Leigh. I haven't watched or followed too much of the World Series this year, but very excited because the main event, the main event for me is really what the World Series is all about. Starts on November the 4th, so 3 days' time. They're going to show that on Poker Go, Leigh, every day, right? So I guess you'll get a feature table or two every day, all the way up to, I think, November the 17th is when the final table is. That might be the second or third day of the final table, but all the way up to November the 17th. So I do intend to watch a bit of that if I can. But one thing that I did pick out was that the $50,000 Players Championship, for many, that is the sort of the main event of the World Series of Poker. That started last night, I think, and it started with 3 players. 3 players
really?
on one table.
Wow.
That was it. Because of course, you can enter late, and there were other tournaments going on and what have you. And I think it's ended up with about 49 or 50 players or something like that. But it started with 3, and for several hours there were only like 6 players on a single table. And it is a 6-handed tournament. So that's fair enough. They're not.
We got an interesting thing happening here. We got 2 all-ins, 1 on each table, and obviously we're time banking. And eventually, Alex has made the call with the king queen. He's gonna hit and gonna double up through Stefan Weber. Both tables, so we're hand for hand at the moment for the final table. So they were both kind of checking it. The guy that's just finished in 11th, I've just got to shout out to his full, because Alan from Brazil, but his full name is Alan Mora Bettin.
Fantastic. He's got betting in there. He's forever betting it. It's a great name for a poker player.
Mora Bettin.
Yeah. We're just going to call him Alinio, I think, from here on in.
Yeah. It seems like if he was a footballer, he's on the back of his shirt would just be Alan.
Well, to be honest, didn't Everton have a Brazil? They may still do a Brazilian called Alan.
They do, yes.
Decent player, right?
Yeah,
decent player. He was a decent player.
Actually, well, he's been under Rafa. He's been playing a lot more this season. It's kind of a defensive midfielder. So yeah, certainly, it's been playing a little bit more than before with new management. Right. So yeah, we're hand for hand here. 1 away from the final table, which will play. I think it'll play 9. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it does play 9-handed. Yeah. We play the extra 1 on a final table. So, and we are now only about 10, 15 minutes away from the PLO starting. So that will be along shortly.
Well, it's nice to have a bit of company in chat, Leigh.
Yeah, it's all good. It is
nice to see the names, I have to say.
And this could be it, because Stefan's his ace-9 is good. I mean, he was absolutely short on chips, but he's got a double up, so
he's going to need to push again soon, though, Leigh.
Got them all in again. Yeah, is Jared going to make the call? I don't see Dan making the call, not unless he's got woken up with some absolute premium. Certainly not with his stack size. Yeah, so Greg says in the chat, he thought that Benny's got 2nd and 5th. Yeah, you're right. It's very much horse has been his thing, as I just went through. So well done to him. But yeah, he is from Southampton. I mean, Southampton's kind of a hotbed of poker players, because Toby was from Southampton. Toby Lewis.
Toby Lewis, great player.
Yeah. And obviously even in APAT, circles, we've got some Dave Howard was from Southampton. Chris from Southampton as well. So say it's a fair few that have come out of there. I only lived there, kind of on my way through in life. Never played any live poker in Southampton. Never went to the casino once. I lived there for about 10 years. Never went to the casino. I went to the casino once, I think, for a corporate event. That's the only time I'd ever stepped foot in the casino.
Did we not have an APAT regional at Southampton? We must have. We had Portsmouth, I think. We had. I think we might have had Plymouth. We definitely had Brighton.
Plymouth and Brighton.
No, never Southampton.
So the South Coast ones were Plymouth, Brighton, Luton, and we did one over on the East Coast. What was the
there was It begins with a T. I'm sure it does. Thurrock. No.
Yes, it does. Yes.
That's the one. The one that begins with a T. We were there as well.
On the coast. Yeah. That's the one.
Thandie Newton. No, it wasn't that. Thanet. Was it Thanet? It was Thanet.
Yeah, King Queen versus Queen 10. It's the King Queen at risk. Oh dear, that is unfortunate for Billy.
Wow.
Absolutely in way ahead. Naz has hit the Queen and the 10.
Wow.
Billy is unfortunately going to depart in 10th place, which means we will have a final table. I will get that up on the screen as quick as I can.
Billy's 6 foot frame is currently walking away from the table. Unlucky there, Billy, but Naz got the look of the draw on that occasion. Rigged, he said. He's in there. He says rigged. As Mr. Austin
final
says,
table's up, so we should be good to go. So we've got 9 players remaining.
Boom! Look at that
for our final table. So Gerard's chip leader 1.1 million. David Hefner from Sweden with 800,000. Philip Rodriguez from Brazil with 738,000. Naz back in the UK 707,000. Alexis Andre, who was chip leader going to this day from Luxembourg with 554,000. Dan Austin with 417,000. Stefan Reisenberger from Austria with 316,000. Then Roman Ratzmann from Germany and Stefan Weber from Germany, both making up the field.
Fantastic. Who's your money on, Leigh?
I mean, I know it's easy to go chip leader, but Jared's got game.
He's playing well.
Really good player. I would have to say I would be picking him at this point in time.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you take the chip leader, I'm gonna have to get 2. You're gonna give me 2 shots, and of course, I'd have to go with what I know. Naz shown tremendous form recently, so Naz would have to be one of them. He's got half of Jared's chips, but still a great player. And Dan, you can't back against Dan.
You're not going for Flip Rodriguez, likely to win his flips.
That's a great name, Felipe. But as I said, I got to go with the talent that I know. Stefan, a bit short there as well. It's hard to know. 2 Stefans, so both of our Stefans are pretty short there.
So we will see. So the prize payouts now. So the guys are all guaranteed $153, and then we go right up top to $1,280 for the winner tonight, who will also pick up the gold medal, APAT gold medal as well. Medals for the top 3. So
fantastico. And Billy is saying there that's 2 more cream buns for this 6 foot frame. Beautiful.
Yeah, you got a little bit of a ladder there to add to his the additional $13 that he'd already secured previously.
It all counts.
So it certainly does.
Can't ever be unhappy with the cash.
No, that is for sure. So as this final table is underway, say the PLO players will be starting to rev their engines. I mean, it's a great lineup coming back for these 14 players. So we got Brendan Byrne, Paul Haycock, we got Tony Ross, we've got Yanni, we've got Steve Bailiff, we've got Steve Redfern. It's going to be a cracking final 2 tables of the PLO.
That's a proper Halloween sort of field there. Blood and guts everywhere.
Yeah, should be quite lively, I reckon. So it'd be interesting to try and pick a winner from that lot. Yeah, so Dan said, yeah, Thanet. I never made it to Thanet. I used to do the trip down to Brighton to kind of cover that one off. And actually, I think I might have done Plymouth once as well. Just to obviously, Luton kind of managed itself. It was kind of because obviously it was one of the main paying poker rooms of the Grosvenor portfolio. So never an issue there.
Well, Thanet got quite a bit of investment. Oh, hello. There's not going to be too much happening here.
Yeah, it's going to be chopping it up. Yeah, well, the seaside casinos normally do, don't they? I mean, you think about Blackpool and think, well, how does Blackpool as a casino make a huge amount of money? Because it's just it's kind of a seaside town. There's not massive money being spent, maybe necessarily, but they're in the right place. They do things well. People love going there. The GUKPT are now obviously there this week, and they've always held a leg in Blackpool.
But Blackpool's a hotbed of poker, right?
Super popular. Yeah.
Cheap accommodation. I say that respectfully. Lots of accommodation, relatively cheap. It's a day out at the seaside if you want to experience that. It's easy to get somewhere to eat. So Blackpool, I think, is a tremendous amount, going for it. And we love going to Blackpool with APAT. Thanet, on the other hand, yes, it got the investment, but we certainly could never get a decent field in Thanet. So we held our regional events there and we just couldn't get. So, it's whether the poker room, I don't know whether they were inexperienced or whether there wasn't a core base there or what the issue was.
Thanet's is probably as close to London as, say, Blackpool is to Manchester. So just as we're watching Jared with the deuce 3.
Oh, look at your heart.
And Dan's all across that and is going to get a double up. Yeah, so it is interesting, but the Northwest, actually, funnily enough, so Manchester is crazy for poker, and obviously Blackpool as well. Yeah. Liverpool has never quite seemed to have as much interest in poker. Certainly the casinos there. I mean, I think Genting maybe used to run one leg of their tour up there, but other than that, it's always been Manchester based for anything big in the Northwest. Interesting. Not sure the reason why that is. Whether Liverpool just a city, I don't know how many casinos they've got or the size of them, but you'd have thought Liverpool would be an absolute, again, another hotbed.
Yeah, I agree.
Just watching Stefan Weber with the ace 10 at risk, and he's got unlucky against David Hefner, and we're going to lose Stefan Weber in 9th place, picking up $153, and that's a pay jump now. Min cash now is 181 for the remaining 8. Yeah, never understood why Liverpool has never seemed to kind of have the bigger venues to be able to put on some of the bigger events. It's strange.
Yeah, I mean, it must come down to the casino and the specialisms of the casino, I'd have thought, Leigh. Can't be. Yeah,
but then you look at some other places. I mean, obviously everyone talks about Nottingham. Well, Nottingham wouldn't be a poker interest if it wasn't for Dusk Till Dawn, really, would it?
Well, yes, in terms of volume, but Nottingham, for many years before Dusk Till Dawn, always had a pretty vibrant local poker community. To my knowledge, I do remember sort of tournaments taking place there. Walsall is another place, had a great sort of reputation. You wouldn't have assumed Walsall would be a hotbed of poker, but quite a mature customer base there.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be any exact science as to why some venues seem to take off. I mean, I think probably the biggest thing is, as you mentioned with Thanet, is the people. If you've got a good card room manager and you've got some good senior staff and some good core dealers, players will come and play regularly.
Yeah.
And once you start building that momentum up, then you're good to go. Yeah. Of course, it also shows how quickly and easily, if that manager leaves or there's a few changes, how quickly that reputation can fall like a house of cards and go the other way. Yeah.
Well, I saw quite a lot of that in Newcastle. They're a lot of the lads there and ladies madly passionate about their poker, but there was a heck of a lot of moving from one casino to another casino to another casino because a manager would move or somebody had an issue and just people would move, groups would move. So it's a very sensitive topic, really. Running a local card room, there's a lot of ways you can screw it up.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens with things opening up. Obviously, Genting have completely pulled out of their poker. Grosvenor are very focused on what they're doing now with their own tours. It's nice to see Rob and the guys at Dusk Till Dawn back open again. But I know the Hippodrome have been doing things, but I don't know what's happening with some of the others, like the Alliers and the Aspers and the Rainbow casinos, because there's 3 of those dotted around the country. What they're doing in the way of poker, but it feels like things are kind of resetting, and we're going to see what the lay of the land is going into the new year.
Absolutely, not too far away now, Leigh.
No, exactly. So Stefan's all in here, and Naz has re-raised. So Roman is a short stack out of the small blind.
What are you putting Naz on here, Leigh?
Getting value to call.
Ace, king, and above.
Yeah, I would suggest. I can't believe he's going to be doing that with much lighter than
10s and above.
Than ace. Yeah. I'd have thought. There it is. It is jacks. Yeah. Just needs to avoid
there we go.
Needs to avoid the tent, and does. And so Stefan departs as well, and Naz adds to his stack. Yeah, I don't think Naz was doing that with much less than that.
No,
We're 5 to the
no,
hour,
no.
so players are on the break. That means the PLO players will be starting to take their seats in front of their computer screens or tablets or whatever it is they're playing on these as well. If you're Steve Redfern, you're just stretching out poolside, ready, limbering up, ready to go.
You're just wiping the steam off of your screen.
Yeah, we'll be ready to go. But players will be on a 4 minutes 30 seconds left of that break, and then we will be back.
Meanwhile, in Termafecken, Brendan is putting on his floor manager's suit, and he's just sitting down formally to address this one.
Yeah, it's say there's nice prizes with the PLO. That's for sure. So the guys here with what we're watching now are playing for $1,280 up top, but the PLO has got $1,135 up top as well. So some decent chunks of cash for what is a $55 buy-in. Our it's championship weekend, last weekend of the month. You can satellite in or feeder into both of these events from $5.50. You can actually get into the $5.50 ones from like 55 cents.
It's just great.
So
value.
if anyone's wanted to, you can get in with a shot at picking up, four figure sum. And the good thing about these are they're 2-day events, so we don't play crazy long time. So on a Sunday night, you'll probably be playing 4 hours maximum, and then come back on the Monday. And of course, you've got the APAT medals up for grabs as well. Very much sought after. And at the moment, these 2 events every month are the only 2 events where you can pick up a medal. So if you, we got a bit crazy during lockdown. We were giving medals out left, right, and centre. It was a bit ridiculous.
Still, there were a lot of people out there, Leigh, that just couldn't get their hands on one.
Couldn't still want to get their hands on a medal.
Hey, listen, I'm very excited.
Not bothered the colour, not bothered which one it is. Just want one.
Give me a medal. I want to feel that thing against my chest as I go to sleep at night. I'm very excited, Leigh. Former England captain Paul Haycock is in the chat box. Good evening,
excellent.
Paul. Good luck in the PLO. Of course, I'm only joking. Insane. Former England captain.
Yeah, Paul is he's like second on the grid. So Brendan's clocked a ridiculously fast time in qualifying, and he sat there with 967,000 chips. Paul's got 476,000. He's on the front row alongside Brendan, but normally they just stagger it by a little tiny bit.
That's right. It's rigged. It's rigged,
one,
Leigh. It's rigged.
Brendan's already round the first corner. Yeah, before he even has to start. Yeah, so he's got a good start. But there's plenty of chips in play. I mean, Steve Redfern was in the chat earlier on, saying I need a miracle. I mean, it's not looking great for Steve. They're going to come back with blinds of 4,000, 8,000, and Steve has 44k, so he's got about 5.5 bigs. So he is going to need to get busy. But as we've always said with PLO, these players that play regularly know you can get right down to 5 bigs and just sit tight and find the right spot to get it in. You don't need to just openly shove and close your eyes and hope for the best. These guys know what they're doing, and he won't be doing anything crazy. As you watch firsthand, he's all in.
Yeah, I'm all in.
I've got swimming training to do. I'm all in. Yeah,
I've got 4 jacks. I'm all in.
Yes, yeah. Unfortunately, it's not that good in PLO.
It's not great.
It's not great. Not great to say the least. So have you caught up with any films? Have you been to see Dune or the new James Bond film or anything? Done any cinema trips? Nothing at all.
No cinema trips.
You like your films though, I do. Are you still just veering away from cinemas or
no? Christ, no! I was sat with 55,000 people a couple of days ago. Nobody wearing a mask, so no issues with that. Within reason, it's passion based, of course. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm surprised you say that, because I know that was when you were in Liverpool. So I'm amazed you were sat with 55,000 people and not a single mask. I had my son who did. I'm sure he's not in there now, but he did pop into the chat box a little earlier on. He put in our WhatsApp group a couple of a week or so ago, which I thought was quite funny. It took my attention. Oh God, I want to find this. Oh, I can't find the comment. But he said he'd gone to some movie. I think he went to see Bond, and he said The View.
Okay.
The View, the cinema. He said they've changed it. All of the seats now are reclining seats.
Wow.
I thought, shit, yeah, I'm there. I can fall asleep, very comfortably in really bad movies now. So, I'm totally motivated to go. But everybody just keeps saying to me, no, the movies are shit. There's no good movies out at the moment. I reckon they're pulling the wool over my eyes. I reckon there are definitely some good movies out.
I don't think there are many, because we always do a quiz question in the first round of the quiz on a Friday night, which is always about a film that's come out this week. So I always go on and look and see what's out on the front, and it's not been great stuff. The other week, I think I did Baby Boss 2, and it really isn't. It's not great.
Yeah, I'm not going to that unless I've got the kids with me, and not yet. No, I don't want to spend a weekend going to Baby Boss 2 or Boss Baby 2.
Boss Baby, that's it. Yeah.
The first one was great, though. It was very funny. But yeah, you're going to have the kids with you for that one.
So we're underway in the PLO. We'll keep an eye on that for you as well. But obviously our main focus is on this No Limit Hold'em final table that we're down to 7 players in now.
I'll tell you what I have seen, Leigh, just on the topic, on Apple TV, a new series called Invasion. Started a week ago. Yeah. Looks interesting.
Only saw the trailer. Looked good. Haven't anything more than the trailer at the moment.
Yeah,
but,
I would definitely recommend you going ahead and watching it. I think there's
also
4
another.
episodes out there.
If you're a basketball fan, there's also a new
Swagger. Is it
new series out? Swagger. Yeah. Which
haven't
is
seen it. Did you see any of it?
Kevin Durant. No, I only literally saw it popped up as a message, and I messaged the Bromleys about it because they're big basketball fans, to say it was about, and that's as far as I've got so far. So haven't checked out any more than that. So
there is one coming up. I'm sure in the next week or so it's going to hit with Tom Hanks on Apple TV, I think, and I can't remember the name of it. It's something like Flip or something like that.
Okay.
Again, it's a post-apocalyptic type show. There's a robot and that sort of stuff. I think it looks fantastic. But
I'm waiting for what was the poker film that came out a little while ago, and I'm wait for it to come round.
Was it Counting Cards or something like that? Was that the one that Joe Stapleton had a?
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of.
Piece
yeah. So there's a few interesting things out in the pipeline that will appear at some point somewhere on something I subscribe to. I'm sure that'll be the you watch it. It'll be bloody Disney, the one I don't subscribe to. It'll be you're on that though, so I can pop round yours. Yeah.
Oh, listen, mate, it was embarrassing. We were coming down in the car last night. We were in Wales for the weekend, and Sean's driving, and it's absolutely hammering down with rain and stuff. With the radio on, bit of talk radio, and they're doing.
I presume you're sat in the back with your iPad and headphones on, going, just get me home.
I'm prone across the back. All the kids are in the front seat. We've got them squashed in under one seatbelt, and I'm lying in the back. That's absolutely right.
Nice.
But we're listening to the old film reviews, and so these two talking heads are on, a bit like us, Leigh, except they sort of know what they're anyway. Detail.
They know what they're talking about.
Anyway, 5 minutes on one thing, and then 5 minutes on something else, and 5 minutes on the third, and of course it's really quiet in the car. So we got Ace King against 10-7. Did the 7 take
double up? No, it was a double up for Roman.
For Roman, okay.
With a full house.
Yeah. Anyway, the only sound in the car was me to Sean as she's focused on the road ahead, rain hammering down. The only sound in the car was the occasional. I've seen that. And all I'm thinking is, gotta get the hell back to some level of normality on the going into an office point of view.
Wow.
Being stuck in this little space for work is not healthy. Seen that.
Probably. I had one the other So Jen's brother and wife were down just for the night last Thursday. We looked after the dog over the weekend because they were going away somewhere with her family for the weekend, and so we're just chatting about, oh, have you seen this on? And I'm, oh yeah, I've seen that, and I've seen that on Netflix. Seen that on Netflix. And Jen's looking at me, where do you find time to watch anything? Well, I'm like, well, I have stuff on in the background.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
When I'm working,
I'm exactly the same.
I don't really. When I say I've seen it,
yeah,
I haven't sat there and literally done nothing other than watch that series. But I'll have been through the series, and I guarantee you that in a year's time or 18 months' time, it'll ping back up on something else, and I'll go, "Well, that looks good."
Yeah,
and I'll get about 10 minutes in, I'll go, "Oh, bloody seen this."
Yeah. when I'm sat in my favorite chair with my laptop on the arm of the chair and I'm working away on something, my favorite show on TV is 24 because I've seen it all before, but 10 years ago, so it doesn't really count. So yeah, I'll just snap that on and can go through 24 of those in a few days.
I think I'm about enough time now where I think I could watch The Wire again. I could probably watch Sopranos again. I could probably watch 24 again. Although I did watch 24 quite late on. I binged it way after it had finished, I think. But like I probably at the time where things like The Wire and 20, I think probably even Game of Thrones now, I could probably go back and rewatch.
Oh, I'd love to do that. I would absolutely love to do that.
If I found the time, but it's difficult. So Paul's in the chat and says he can recommend Dune. So yeah, he went with his eldest to see Dune the other week. I said to him, I mean, it was mixed reviews, but it visually is meant to be pretty impressive to watch. So he highly recommends that. So
I tell you, occasionally find a bit of gold, and I hadn't seen these two movies when they originally came out. Don't know how I missed them, but having rewatched them or seen them, some years later, The Equalizer with Denzel Washington.
Yeah, with Denzel Washington. Yeah, very
bloody
good.
hell, fantastic.
He's very good.
He checks his watch and it'll take me about 18 seconds to kill everyone in the room. Here I go.
Yeah, it's very, very good. Especially when you think it was based on the original.
That wasn't the McCallum show, was it?
No, it was The Equalizer was Edward Woodward. Yeah.
Or Edward Woodward, rather.
Edward Woodward, yeah.
I was thinking David McCallum. No, just insane. What a great show!
And
the second movie was fantastic as well. He was slightly older on a train. I think going to Turkey, or there was some sort of Turkish mob link. It was
I must admit, superb. There's some films more recently which you kind of go, oh, this is just going to be trash.
Yeah,
and actually they're pretty good. The Expendables. Have you watched the Expendables films with Stallone and
oh
Jason
no, couldn't. I just read it and couldn't go.
Oh, they are brilliant. they're just taken for what they are. They are very, very watchable films.
Yeah,
really good. Nothing too serious, just a bit of action. No bother at all.
Yeah, I read the description of the thing and I thought, no, that sounds like me stumbling up the stairs at night and just jumping.
So in the PLO, Paul Haycock's rated to 25,000. Steve Redfern has gone all in for his just shy of 25,000. Ashley Keith has called. So Steve and Artisan has called as well. So Mr. Redfern is on a potential quadruple up. Let me see if I can get that one up on screen for you.
There we go. Yeah. Yeah, perfect. Oh, but we're on the next hand. Where's the... Oh, no, the chips are in, are they? Okay.
Steve's all in. Yeah, Steve's all in. So ignore the bit at the bottom. It's the wrong... I'll get that switched over.
Don't worry about that. No, that's fine.
It's the other one, but,
I think we get a big hand. We can switch between them. Wow. I'm not liking Steve's chances here, Leigh, I have to say.
There we go. That switched that to the PLO at the bottom. So four-way. I mean, it's got a potential quadruple up here, but he's going to have to hit a bit, isn't he?
I'd like to. I mean, nobody's flushed in that deck. Possible straight, but it looks a bit remote.
He's chopped it. The ace,
he'll be happy with that.
He's got to take that. I think it's a double up, double up in a bit. So I think he's got to take that. Yeah, and lives to fight another day. Yeah. So this is the PLO, guys. Now, just in case you're getting confused as to what's going on, 14 players left in that, 2 tables of 7. So just happened to bring this table up because I saw Steve was all in from the pool side. So lives to fight it. But this is exactly as I said. Came back to this day 2 with 5 bigs. And that wasn't the best hand in the world that he's got it in with there, but was quite happy to call Paul's original raise to 25,000, and then manages to chop it up against one other player and doubles his stack.
Are you sure he's not trying to get the cheeky last swim of the night in Worcester or wherever the heck he is at the moment? Because that was I'm going to get the cheeky last swim of the night hand.
Could well be. I'll pop it back anyway. Back to the No Limit Hold'em final table. Down to 7 in that now, so we'll keep an eye on that. But I will keep you posted if anything else changes on the PLO.
Succession is back, Leigh.
Yes, it is. Season 3.
Have you seen?
Haven't watched any of it yet. It's all. I think all episodes are available, aren't they? So it's.
Are they?
I think so.
I didn't realize that. I saw the first one. I thought that was it. I thought they were doing it once.
Might be right.
I think they're doing it once a week. I think.
Oh, are they?
I think so.
I don't know why I thought it was all episodes from the end of the month, but I might be wrong with that. I might be wrong with that. I can check now and find out. The joys of having an office with full TV access.
From time to time, I organize myself and I manage to write down on an iPad or something what I'm watching. And then other times I just don't do that. And I find that I forget that I'm in the middle of something and it pops up and, 6 months later and I go, that looks familiar. That's really good, that. Do you do that?
Yeah, it happens a lot, doesn't it? Yeah. It's as I say, the biggest frustration for me is when programs switch between streams. So it starts on Sky or Amazon and moves to Netflix, and then you're like, oh, have I seen that? Have I not seen that? Not sure what's going on.
But also some services, Netflix, for example, is very good at categorizing what you're mid-watching, right? It's there under continue to watch. You go to Prime or Sky, it's rubbish at that.
First three are available.
Are they now?
To stream now. Yeah. So the first 3 episodes are up. Of Succession.
Yeah,
so if you haven't seen Succession, guys, it's a really good series. It's on Sky Atlantic. Really, really good series. And Naz is all in here after Dan raises it up, and Dan makes the call. It's 7s for Naz. It's 10s for Dan. Great call from Dan, and we're going to lose Naz.
Unlucky Naz.
He's going to depart in 7th place. One of your picks.
Those are my 2 picks, Leigh. Just conspiring to help me to win this little game with you.
Is that what you've done? You've arranged. You've asked.
I chat with the guys on WhatsApp. I said, guys, I need one of you to take it for the team. Naz drew the short straw. Dan has promised him a pair of Golas from 1974.
Wow. Does Gola still exist? Is that even still a thing?
It probably does. In certain countries, it's probably a market-leading
more
brand.
action now. Roman's all in, being called by David Hefner. It's ace-king for Roman. That's at risk against the Queens.
Don't you love these races?
Or king. Not going to get there. We're going to lose another one. And very quickly, we are down to 5 and getting very close to those medals now. Very close indeed. I think that's oh no, I was say Roman is in the database, so I think he must have he's cashed in events previously, so has played APAT events before, so another good run from him. And at it again, it's Jared this time, and we're going to lose Alexandra, who was chip leader coming into this date, and we're now on the medal bubble. And just 4 players remaining. So Dan Austin from the UK, Jared from the UK, and David Hefner from Sweden, and Philip Rodriguez from Brazil.
Holdy Foldy is out there in Chatland, Leigh. Michelle, unlucky Naz. Dan said it was actually high-tech Silver Shadow. Is that the horse he had at, I don't know, Lisgard or something?
High-tech still can't be going. Can they really?
High-tech.
Wow, all in the call. Swoosh. Ace Queen against King Queen. And the King Queen is absolutely dominated here. And we're going to lose another one. We've got our medalist. How is that? Wow. Quick is that? That was literally 3 hands in a row,
just
I think.
Bang, bang.
There we go. So David Hefner adds to his stack, and we've got and Gerard's gone from was chip leader with about 7 left, without doing anything wrong whatsoever, but he is now third of 3.
Well, yeah, but look
the
at
other
them.
two have just
They're practically
gathered chip.
level there, aren't they? There's very little in it.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty good, I think.
Yeah, it's absolutely cracked on there in the last 15 minutes.
Yep, so 3 left, so we know who our medalists are going to be. Question is now, what colour medals are they going to be getting?
It's typically whenever we start talking about something else, the guys always go,
It
can't be
blows
arsed.
up,
Can't
doesn't
be
it?
arsed
Yeah,
with this. Let's just get this done.
Yeah, it's certainly that. So we're down to 3. Haven't lost anybody yet in the Omaha. They're playing hand for hand still. Steve Redfern has doubled up again, so he's up to 100k now. So he started with 20, 25 or so. This is up with 25. No, he had 48, dropped down to 25, and has now effectively doubled up and then doubled up again. So
Fantastic.
He's in reasonable spot now. He's now 12th of 14. So
as Wolves take the lead against Everton.
Wow.
Monday Night Football, Leigh.
Yeah, I couldn't work out some of the game timings this weekend and the weekend just gone and the weekend coming. It doesn't make a huge amount of sense to me. I don't understand why the Manchester derby is 12:30 on Saturday.
It's to get the Asian audience, Leigh. To get a primetime Asian audience. That's why
it's
that
really, but it's been moved. So normally that's BT Sports slot, but Sky have got it. So obviously Sky wanted it. They've obviously agreed. Yeah.
Oh, really?
So the BT game is moved to 5:30. They've swapped over this Saturday.
Can they do that?
I'm not quite sure. They have done. So whether they can or not, but they have done. So yeah, it does be. It's a bit of a strange one. And obviously City are playing in the Champions League on Wednesday. So they've got a little bit less time. Obviously, we played in the 5:30 game on Saturday and then have to play on Tuesday night. I mean, Klopp would have a huge issue with that. I mean, he'd be having a proper rant about that.
Quite right too.
Yeah, it's just a crazy situation we find ourselves in. And then are we then on international break again? Aren't we?
Oh yeah, last one of the year.
Just yeah, absolutely crazy. And we can actually then start playing. Then we're getting some serious stuff because then you get into Christmas where we'll be playing every other day for about 2 weeks and moaning about that. So
of a couple of tickets at Anfield on Boxing Day, Leigh.
Have you really? Wow, very nice. Who's visiting?
Leeds United. So Leeds and Liverpool on Boxing Day. That should be tasty. Nice. I've got tickets for we're home to Southampton. I've got Newcastle. I've got a few coming up.
I'll be up that way because we're up in Yorkshire for Christmas. So.
Are you? Oh, do you come with me? Yeah. Come with me to Anfield. Go on, I'll sort you out a ticket if you want to go.
It's very tempting.
Well,
although I can't say any more than that because Jen watches this stream sometimes.
All right,
so
don't say more. Don't say more. Get it signed off first.
Very, very tempting.
Get it signed off. Yeah, it's a phenomenal place to go to. Makes your heart feel good. Now I know as a United fan, it's not going to have the same impact, but
no, I've been to Anfield once. Went to see Wales play Italy there, which would have been around the time probably the Millennium Stadium was being built. I think so. Probably they were moving around games and stuff like that. But played certainly right up in. I was right up in the back row of the Centenary stand, which of course now you said is dwarfed by the new main stand. Yeah. So at the time I thought that was like, wow, that's pretty impressive. Yeah. But yeah, now it's moved on a different level again, isn't it?
Stunning.
I saw in the news this week that West Ham were getting planning permission to add some more seats. And I was like, wow, that's going to be, and then it was like about 2,000 seats. And I couldn't quite, but it would make them the biggest club ground in London. Yeah. And of course, they've just had somebody come in and buy a stake in the club, or it looks like it's going to be that case, which is is it a Polish billionaire? I think.
No idea.
Or Czech Republic, from somewhere Eastern Europe.
Must have links to porn. He does now anyway.
But they could end up doing a good bit of business there. You could, I mean, if you think what Man City did with taking the Commonwealth Games Stadium in Manchester and then building upon that, West Ham have the potential to do that in London. And if you've got the support behind you the scary thing is if that guy does come in and buy West Ham, and it's a billionaire owning West Ham, you've then got 4 or 5 clubs that have got billionaire owners in the Premier League, and the likes of United and Liverpool
could be pushed out.
And, you're looking going with your old money. I mean, you're like, oh, what are you supposed to do here? You know, it's it's going to be interesting times moving forward.
I'm just having a look to see if it's still the same. But I went on to West Ham's website last week because Liverpool are playing them in a week's time down here. And I went last season or the season before COVID, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, I might go down to that. It's not that far away to get into East London. And here we go. Buy ticket now. Let's have a look.
Can you get ticket? Are they on general sale?
I was absolutely able to. Here we go.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I'm on. So I'm literally on the website now. I can get
tickets. All in a call. And double up for Dan through Gerard.
Wow.
With the Jacks. And Gerard has now got less than half the stack of the other two. The other two got 2 million each, and Gerard's under 1 million. I mean, not over by a long shot, but that's not what he wants there.
Wanted, but one double up, and he's absolutely right.
So they're selling out every week, but obviously you can go and pick up a ticket.
Yeah, no, these aren't tickets in the away end. If I want to, go in into the West Ham end, which I've done before, no issues.
They're what they call sit on your hand tickets, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, to a degree. Yeah, to a degree. Yeah. But if you don't get to see your club too often, you could do it.
Unlucky Hammers. Yeah,
I had an issue. I had an issue. I clicked on it and I thought, okay, I could be interested. Over £90 for a ticket. Which to be honest, it's still about 7 miles back from the pitch. And I thought to myself, do you know what? I'm not going to do that because although I'll spend a lot more going to Liverpool to see them, the experience is a lot better. I don't have to sit in my hands and, all of that stuff. So I've chosen not to spend over 90 quid to buy a ticket to West Ham because, I can get a ticket to Liverpool for like 45 to 55 pounds. I don't understand why West Ham in that bowl of a stadium is charging over £90 a ticket.
So Dan's just said that wasn't an all-in call. It was only a small pot. Yeah, he's right. It was only about 400k in the pot. I mean, what I would say on ticket prices, I was listening on the way back. They were talking about price of this, that, and the other. And apparently, if you want to go and see Adele, cheapest Adele ticket is 90 quid.
Yeah, but I'd spend 90 quid to go and see Adele. No issues.
Would you really?
Oh God, I would. Yeah. I bought Shauna.
Another one on your bucket list. Yeah.
No, I would because I've never seen her, and to be honest, she's very good.
Did you see Graham Norton on Friday night?
You talking about the Springsteen and Obama thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that piece.
Yeah. It was good.
Springsteen, he's released this book with Obama based on a podcast series that they did. He's also got a No Nukes concert from 1979 coming out. So whenever they've stuff coming out, they've got to do a few things. But he was on the Colbert Show in the States last week, and he did an acoustic version of The River. Oh, it's fantastic.
brilliant.
Which was very stripped
I didn't realise they were quite so pally, and it was very relaxed interview.
Oh, very, very pally,
yeah, really, yeah. It was quite. Again, now I know they've got a podcast. It's the sort of thing I just listen to them going, yeah, I'm quite happily with sitting and listen to them. So I might well check out the podcast and see what it's like.
That's very good. I can't wait.
So Greg Mawson's in chat just going, tier 8 teams play twice a week with full-time jobs. Never understand Premier managers' issues. Yeah.
It's very true.
Well, but they do. I mean, you don't even need to go down to tier 8 because they do say that, championship teams pretty much play Saturday, Tuesday for the entire season.
And it's a tough bloody league as well.
That is it. Yeah. The entire season. And Bournemouth are doing incredibly well in that.
Yeah, they are, aren't they?
Incredibly well. But still unbeaten.
Wasn't expecting it, Leigh, I have to say.
It's only yourselves and Bournemouth, I think, are the only two unbeaten sides in the whole of the football league. Yeah, no, I wasn't, because I thought when they changed the manager and brought in Parker, I was like, oh, okay, this feels like a sidestep. It doesn't feel like, but yeah, it's without spending a huge amount of money, because they've let a number of players go. Callum Wilson's gone, Josh King's gone. They seem to be putting together a decent run.
Do you fancy a sneaky tip for this week, Leigh? Sneaky tip?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah,
okay. So Liverpool at Atletico Madrid on Wednesday, European Cup. Atletico Madrid 5-1 to win the game. Now, for my money,
where is it?
It's at Anfield. It's at Anfield.
Anfield, okay.
Now, we beat them 3-2.
Hang on, just quickly. All in the call. Ace King for Gerrard. It's the 10s from David. It's the ace 6 at risk. We're going to lose Gerrard in third, because we are heads up.
Unlucky, my friend.
To him. And David's going to start this with a 2-1 chip lead on Dan. Let's see how this plays out. So go on.
5-1 Atletico. Now, we played them a couple of weeks ago at their gaff. We were 2-0 up. They came back to 2-2 fairly comfortably, and we nicked it with a late goal. They had a man sent off. They, of course, knocked us out last season, winning at Anfield in a very unlikely fashion. We totally dominated the match, but nonetheless, they did win the game. And they had a big win this weekend, the Spanish League, doing very well in the Spanish League. Our bogey team, we've won all 3 of our games in the Champions League so far, so not the end of the world if we don't win this one. But at 5-1, given that we have only 3 fit midfielders in the club, if you want to have a sneaky bet, and I don't want to say this out loud too often, I'd have a sneaky bet in Atletico.
Yeah, they know. Well, they know how to beat you, don't they? And
we hate them. We absolutely hate them. They're so annoying to play against. So they don't come out and play. So that absolutely
he doesn't get the credit that he's been there a long time.
He does.
I
think he does get the credit. I don't think people like it, but I think he does get the credit.
But do you think he could do what he does there at any of the super the Galactico type clubs of Barcelona or Real Madrid?
Well, I made a joke a week or two ago that
if we took him as United manager, not that I think he ever would. This is the problem.
No, he's not a United manager, but I could absolutely see him at Chelsea.
What's a step up for him from Atletico Madrid if he's winning La Liga there, and he's
Chelsea, huge step up.
You think Chelsea would be?
Yeah. I think he could end up in Italy. I don't think he's not a flair manager, so I don't think he goes to a Liverpool or a Man United because I don't think the fan base would want to watch that type of football. Could end up at a Newcastle, and he could be this sort of manager that would be a great stabilising manager as they build and try and get confidence, and 2 or 3 seasons, and then he dips off and they bring in their proper first manager. But he's done an amazing job at Atletico, but such a good team, and he has them playing a very, very negative game.
Just to give an update on the PLO. Steve Redfern was looking for miracles. Well, he's still the short stack, but he was the short stack when there were 14 players coming back, and he's the short stack with only 9 remaining. So
what chips does he have now?
He's actually all in.
100 the last time we spoke.
I can get that up very quickly. Yeah, he's all in against Scouse, and Scouse has knocked him out. Just as I was about to say, he's done very well to get there.
Absolutely boxed him.
He's finished in 9th place, picking up $142. But considering he started this in 14th, where 14th gets paid nothing,
that's a good job.
Yeah,
good job.
it's a decent effort there, and we're down to 8 in that now, so we'll be on a final table pretty quickly now. So we'll keep an eye on that. I might actually switch it to and bring up both final tables actually once it does go. We can keep an eye on both of them then.
Nice call.
Yeah. Because with 8 left, I think they're probably just playing out of hand, and I think it then will go to
Steve
it
says,
will go to
I
final
will take
table
that,
of 8.
Leigh. He's happy with that.
Yeah, I think that's it's a decent effort. Again, good PLO players can do that, and and not wishing to blow smoke up anywhere near Steve, because he doesn't need that. He's there's a way of managing that time, that stack and that position in a tournament. Yes, you need to get a little bit lucky at times, but you don't need to go too crazy and panic too much about it. Just yeah, there's it's he's done very well there to get that from 14th up to 9th. And as he says, take that, $142. Thank you very much. So Dan's pulled this right back, and they're pretty much level now on stacks. So David Hefner started this with a 2-1 chip lead, but Dan Howson's pulled this right back, and it's even. It could go either way. I mean, second place money here is $828, and it's $1,280 up top. So they're playing for about another $400 between second and first. And actually, they've gone hand for hand on the PLO, so they must be looking for one more exit before we go to a final table. So yeah, they're playing hand for hand at the moment. So. Of course, you talk about tips. If anybody's caught you or I doing a 3:00 Saturday football show, they would know. They know listening to us for football advice is really not a good thing to do. It's,
I don't know.
A lot of fun,
I think what they'll have learned is that there are no guarantees in sport.
No, definitely not. That is for sure.
And thank God we only play for pennies.
Very much, yeah. We're not like, So Des and I we're thinking of starting up one of these. I don't know if you've seen the kind of slot streamers, the casino streamers. But we're going to call it penny slots. Yeah, it'll very much be.
We're going to call it Pennywise and give balloons to everyone.
Yeah, it'll be very much the lowest possible stake you can play, but we're going to go bonus hunting on the lowest stakes we can play.
We're not doing that. No.
No, we're definitely not doing that. No. But the football stuff is of a similar thing. It's low stakes and a lot of fun. We certainly have a laugh. I think we had a Saturday where every single team we put on to score next. The opposition put one in the back of the net.
And then immediately afterwards, our team scored next.
Yeah. It's crazy. Good fun. Though.
It's great to be able to get to play Jeff Stelling occasionally.
Yeah. Oh, I happened to watch it live on Saturday. I don't know why. It just happened to be on, but when the main man. And I don't think I'm not sure I don't think the guests were expecting it, obviously, but he just decided to just announce that, this will be his last season.
Sad to hear it.
That will be that. Well, I think he said he's 30 years with Sky and 25 years doing that show, which could possibly be about right. And decided, let somebody else. I was interested to see if there was a book anywhere who would take it on. Whether it would be one of the guys that does some step in occasionally for him, or whether they would actually go for a bigger name and do something slightly different with it. It feels like it's kind of run its course a little bit. I tend to watch the one on BT Sport on a Saturday afternoon because I just find it a better watch than Soccer Saturday. But it used to be. I mean, say 5-10 years ago, then I'd have been it would have been Soccer Saturday every single time, but there wasn't much else to go with other than that.
Well, listen, there's a bit of gold knocking around the chat box at the moment. Scouse says England to win the Cricket World Cup is an almost certainty. So there you go, guys. Get your money on England Terra. And Greg said, what is that football show thing you do? Sort of stumbled on it looking for a hidden Dan Elston video. What? Oh, that's hilarious.
Dear, oh dear. I didn't see. I listened to the kind of the England first innings, which was a shocking start, and then they pulled it back. I don't know what they ended up scoring, but I'm assuming they ended up winning that game. It's been a weird one out in UAE, where it seems to be whichever team bats second pretty much wins the game. That's it.
I haven't been following it, I have to say.
No, and it's very disappointing. So Dave Howard, who a lot of you will know through APAT, is based out in Dubai, and he's been to a number of the games, and it's been empty. I mean, they've been claiming that they're sold out, and these grounds they've got in the International Cricket Stadium in Dubai, which is huge. I mean, really impressive place. It's just empty. Doesn't make a huge amount of sense to me, really. But
Well, it'll be around this time next year when the World Cup comes around.
Yeah.
That's going to be huge. That's going to be something to look forward to.
So Premier League's going to take a month off, well, as all the leagues are as well. I think I'm not quite sure how they've quite finalised how they're fitting all the fixtures or going to deal with it yet. But
well, we discussed it briefly a couple of weeks ago. I'm sure we did. Where the idea was mooted that international breaks should all be held. The first week of June, first couple of weeks of June. Have your 4 or 5 international games, then replace that every 2 or 4 years with Euros or a World Cup.
And just do that with it.
Let the bloody football season just get on and
completely,
and not have to
completely
continually stop.
Yeah. So Scout says, not today. England went first and beat Sri Lanka. Yeah. Well, they were put in. So Sri Lanka won the toss and put England into bat, and England lost 3 reasonably early wickets, and then was super slow scoring for a number of overs, and you kind of thought this is all going to go horribly wrong. But then they seemed to absolutely crank it up. I think it was Joss Butler and Owen Morgan that were in at that point. And Owen Morgan is very much out of sorts at the moment with the bat, and it's just not really happening for it. But it sounds like they managed to put a decent score on in the end, and then bowled Sri Lanka out. So superb.
Despite
Dan's all in.
Oh, hello.
Dan's all in and gets that through. So David had raised it up, and Dan lets it go. So David's taking the chip lead again back here a little bit.
Well, despite that player's form that you just mentioned there, Leigh, I do hope England win, because it'll be the first time an Irishman has ever lifted the trophy.
Yes, that could be the case, couldn't it?
We'll take anything.
Yeah. Right. So this explains it. So Greg was looking for a Dan video. He was looking for Dan talking through the PLO tournament from a few months back. So that makes a lot of sense now, because that's well worth watching. And
that was great. That was great.
And he stumbled across you and me talking about football at 3:00 on a Saturday. Yeah, that makes that story makes sense now. So that's all good. Oh dear.
It makes better sense.
Yeah, just about. So on the PLO, we're down to 8 at the moment. So chip leader going into day 2, Brendan Burns is now 4th in chips at the moment. Paul Haycock, who was 2nd in chips, is still 2nd in chips. So nothing if not consistent. Scouse is still there. Tony Ross is still there. So we're waiting for one more to go and be on the final table. So we're gonna have a good final table there as well.
Yeah, and we're going to be seeing that final table.
Yeah, which will follow on as soon as we've got a conclusion. Well, we might actually bring both of them up if and we have just lost a player. It's Roy Plaxto has bust from the PLO, so we're going to have a final table. So as soon as that comes up, I will try and get both on screen so we can keep an eye on both of them as we go. But, right then, let's see if we can make this happen. How does that look?
Yeah, that's sweet.
Okay, cool. So just so you know what you've got. So the prize pool on there is the No Limit Hold'em, which is playing out at the top of your screen. Dan versus David. The level counter is also for that tournament as well. But down bottom right there, you've got the PLO, 7 players remaining. You've got Roman Ratzman from Germany, chip leader with just over 1 million chips. Paul Haycock from the UK 2nd. Ashley Keith from the UK in 3rd. Brendan Byrne from Ireland in 4th. Tony Ross from Ilfracombe in 5th.
Is that like its own country?
Scouse, yeah, it is. Yeah, Scouse Bailiff. Not sure where he's from, but he's 6th in chips. And Artsum Prostak from Belarus, I think. Check that. I'm pretty sure.
Did I tell you about my bad experience?
Yeah.
Did I tell you about my bad experience in Belarus, Leigh?
Or Ilfracombe? I was going to say Belarus or Ilfracombe. Which one was it?
I think Scouse was the Republic of Liverpool.
Was Belarus your World Cup story?
I had a really bad experience in Belarus. So it was it's the Champions League in 2018. Liverpool against Real Madrid, been held in Kiev.
That was it. Yeah.
Managed to get a an exotic trip into Kiev via Switzerland, Minsk in Belarus, and into Kiev. So, on we get in Switzerland, no issues. We land in Belarus, and as I hit the runway, all of my data in my phone just got gobbled up by whatever the hell was happening in Belarus. So from that point forward, I had no data. So I'd rented a car in Kiev. I had no GPS anyhow. I don't want to, no translation, I had none of that stuff. But so a disaster landing in Belarus, and then in taking off, they put us on a little plane to fly into Kiev. It had props. The captain was up front throwing logs in the burner. It was an incredible thing. I think there was only space for about 9 people on the plane. They were all Liverpudlians, so it was immediately dangerous. Everything was dangerous about it.
Oh dear, not good at all. It sounds like a story of my client that's just bought a place out in Kefalonia, and out of season you have to go Kefalonia to Athens before you get a flight back to the UK. They don't do direct into Kefalonia, and he says the plane that goes from Kefalonia to Athens. He said, I as desperately bad as I wanted to buy this place and have somewhere out, he said, I know in a couple of years' time I'm going to regret it at some point.
It's got a dinghy tied to the bottom of the plane.
Yeah. He said, one of the trips back a couple of months ago, or last month, I think he said, I thought we were a goner. Then he said, he just completed on the property, and he said, I genuinely thought, my kids don't even know where this property is yet, and I'm a goner. I'm not going to make it back. I think the worst one I ever had was, do you remember when we did a tournament up in Aberdeen?
Yes, I do. The international.
Where we lost our media.
Still up there, Leigh. Not board. Lost, still there.
Still there. No, it's still there. If anybody ever goes into, somebody will go into that casino in 100 years' time, go looking at this antique media board. But I got a direct flight from Southampton up to Aberdeen, and that plane, that wasn't an enjoyable flight. Oh dear. Did not enjoy that in the slightest. Yeah, proper little prop plane. Couldn't have sat more than, I don't know, 24 people in the plane. Yeah, not enjoyable at all. And so Dan wins that one, but it's nip and tuck here with this one at the moment. It's back to kind of the stacks when they first started, where David's got nearly a 2-1 chip lead back now. Of course, talking about flights, it's the 1st of November today, which means a week today.
Oh, flights
USA
to
is
the World
open.
Series, right?
The USA is open. We know a number of people that are already booked up and are heading over. So should be, if nothing, should be interesting on the APAT show for the next couple of weeks, tracking what they're doing. I know of a friend of the show that is playing the main event.
Brilliant. Who? Can you tell us?
Well, he shipped money. He shipped money to the cage to play. So I'm assuming that means he's definitely going to play it now, unless he changes his mind. Unless he's changing his mind, but
we won't hold him to it.
I'm pretty sure he's playing it. Had a very, very decent cash at GUKPT recently. Husband of
okay. I do not know who you're talking about. I do indeed.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
that's
he's planning on
good for him.
Planning on
good
playing
for him.
They both go out. They both go out next week.
Okay.
And so
living the dream.
I'd love them both to have been playing it, but not.
Well, she might satellite in. Will she have time though? Will they have time? It's
I think pretty much
you've got one day, right?
You've got a day, but you can go and play the sit and go llama things and see if you can
hammer them
enough to do it. Yeah. But they're at the GKPT this week. And if they could get a decent cash in that as well, then they might just go for it. So.
Statistically, awesome. I wouldn't be relying on that, but touch wood, right?
But I said I'd have a percentage of either if they were ever going to sell. Really looking forward to the next couple of weeks of some updates from them. But anyway, worst. getting back to Vegas again and getting to have an enjoyable time there. So that's the
absolutely
most important thing. We caught up with Robbie, didn't we, this week to discuss all things the orbit. But to be fair, we spent a great chunk of that just saying, "So how was Vegas, Robbie? what was Vegas like?" And he was out there for about 3 weeks, wasn't he? So
that's right.
Yeah. So,
we had to say, like, tell us again, Robbie, about the strippers. Tell us again.
Tell us what it was like. Yeah, that was before Miriam came out as well. Yeah, so
absolutely, of course. No, it's a wonderful place. It would be nice.
Yeah, well, hopefully next summer. I know there's I don't know whether there's going to be a delayed Phil TC 50th and Anna 21st maybe next summer. I know Stu Oliver has got a big birthday and so is planning on doing something as well. So it could well be. And of course, and Tom is taking pretty much everybody in his entire pub poker league out to Vegas next year. So if you've not got involved in that, then it's just, he's chartering. There's not enough planes, I think, to get them all out. So so I think next summer could be good because I think World Series will be back as it normally has been. Although interestingly, one thing Robbie did say, he quite enjoyed the autumn from a temperature point of view.
Yeah, which makes perfect sense.
He said it was, He said obviously you've got a lot more conventions out there this time of year. I mean, I've never been out this time of year to know. Have you been out this time of year for anything?
Yeah, I used to always go in January for the CES, the Consumer Electronics Show. I was there 2 years ago for the Consumer Electronics Show, and it's very cold, but it's crisp, so it's quite nice. It's always dry, no snow, nothing like that. But the fun thing, particularly about the Consumer Electronics Show, is that the other big show in town, always at that time, was the porn convention. And so you were always fighting for taxis with porn stars. It was very odd. Okay. Very odd.
Why did you not just start your story as that's why you're out every January?
Well, it would have been nice, wouldn't it? Yeah, no, I go.
And it just so happens there was this electronics show as well, which was just bonus.
But to be honest,
all in the call is King 7 against 10s. Is the King 7 at risk? He's hit 7.
It's hearts.
It's not going to be. It's not going to be no hearts either. And David Hefner is going to be our No Limit Hold'em champion for the month of October, picking up $1,279.
Nice hand, David.
86 cents. And Dan Austin will have to settle for a silver medal and $827.
Great job, Dan.
96 cents. Good effort from both of them. I will just quickly switch over the.
Fantastic. That was a great little tourney, Leigh.
Yeah, that was good, wasn't it? It was a good end to that one. And we will just get the.
But Leigh, listen, as you're fixing that table there, I'm going to shock you by saying I'd almost always choose to go to the bloody Consumer Electronics Show over the porn convention because whatever was happening at the Consumer Electronics Show was amazing. What was happening there? There was always weird stuff. I mean, it's incredible.
I often follow it via
from afar,
the internet and social media or whatever. But it does, it always does look quite impressive. I must admit,
it's huge. It's so big.
I mean, are those things back in full effect now?
Well, I know I would expect.
I know you've been to a lot of virtual stuff during lockdown, haven't you?
Yeah, I did a lot of virtual stuff. I'm going to my first one. I'm going to my first one since lockdown in a week's time, just over a week's time. I think it's the 9th to the 11th of November, so just over a week, Tuesday next week, and it's betting on sports. So it's at Stamford Bridge. It's 800, execs from betting operators across Europe coming together to, conference talks, all of that stuff. So I'm managed to get hooked into doing a presentation at it. So that's something that I need to work on this week. But I am quite looking forward to being back and meeting people, and I think that'll be great.
So just as the PLO, we get into focus on it completely. We lose Brendan, unfortunately, in seventh place. Was chip leader coming into this day two, but departs in 7th place, picking up $164. And Paul Haycock is now chip leader in this one.
Nice job, Mr. H. That's quite the field here.
Were the Pauls won APAT medals before? I'm sure he must have done. He's not one to brag about it, but I'm not sure whether he's won a gold. I'm sure he'll be in the chat, so he'll probably tell me that, yeah, I've won loads. And I probably railed him on a bunch of them.
I've got 7 golds, Leigh,
Yeah.
5 silvers and 14 bronzes.
Yeah, what are you talking about? Yeah. So Tony Ross, I guess, is one of the interesting ones here. He is going to be certainly up there in the mix for top of the table of leaderboard ladders for this week. Obviously, Brendan's going to add to his tally, which is always a tally. They had a quiet week last week, so he did drop down a step, I think, last week, but is back up. We're back up in the mix this week, that's for sure. But Tony was second going into Sunday's events. Brendan was in about 10th, I think. So he will have added.
This is good for Tony then. I mean, he's in great shape here.
Yeah, he's gonna need. I think he might need to win this to actually overtake Mark Winsell at the top. But he's if anyone can.
Well, that's an extra layer of excitement.
Tony, yeah.
I think Paul has given you the finger in the chat box. I'm not quite sure what that means, but he has given you the finger.
I mean, he's
he's agreeing with you, or he's got one gold.
He's won one. He's got one gold. Yeah, maybe he's got one gold. Yeah, I know he did win. He did win a medal because he was in one of the team England teams that won medals. So he did, but obviously,
was he part of
an individual thing?
Was he part of your team, the APAT team that won the UK team event back in 2009?
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't.
No, he wasn't part of that one. No.
Those reprobate legends that will always go down in the annals of APAT history.
Yeah, I still don't know where the trophy is.
It's in my back room, mate. It's slightly broken, but
I thought Nosy P had it. Has he not still got it, or was it broken with you?
Well, I think I got the first one, and frankly, I wasn't letting it go. So I think we might have got a second one, a second trophy.
That's fair enough. I don't think I even got a gold medal for it, actually.
Didn't you?
No, I think.
But I thought we put that right, though.
No, I think we were one short, and so I think I sent one I had to whoever was short or something. Speak
to T Brady. He'll. I was
going to say, I feel a bit bad now to go 10 years down the line. I never got my. I should do. Everyone else does. So so I should.
Tom definitely would.
Yeah, exactly.
So climate change, all the rage now, Leigh.
It's happening, isn't it?
It's all the rage. It's all the rage now. Bit of rain and they're up in arms, eh?
So.
Oh, well, Mr. Haycock says 7 medals, of which 3 are gold. We knew that, Paul. We were only having you on.
If I knew it was that easy to get him to bite, honestly. Really, dear.
How many gold?
Somebody's proud of that, aren't they? Goodness me.
Right. It's all ego. Ego.
By my calculations, I think if Tony wins this, he'll top the table for the week.
Right, we can't have that, guys. Pull that lever. Pull that lever, Leigh.
So there's now a bounty on Tony's head. No. He's all in on this one, and Queen's not going to be any good, and Artium is going to pick up that pot. Tony's still got a stack there, but yeah, if Tony wins this, he'd end up top of the leaderboard ladders for the week.
Well, I wouldn't put it beyond him, Leigh, because I think we've been in this position before, and we know he's got the game to do it. And we do have the occasional joke, like 3 or 4 times a night when we do this show about a 5-stepper winning the leaderboard ladders. But in reality, happy days. Couldn't be happier.
I mean, to be fair, he'll end up on four cashes this week, which on a championship weekend week is pretty good going. Mark Winsell also will end up on 4 as well, and Yeah, I mean, I'm the same. I mean, Mark's had a good week. Not really scored much over the championship events, but has scored well in all the others and deserves to be top of the table at the moment. I think Brendan's likely to end up, consolidate in 10th place, I think. So he'll still, well, actually, no, Brendan might move up a little bit higher, actually. Brendan might actually just make it into the top 5.
Nice.
Yeah, which should give him an extra ticket if he did. Yeah, Brendan's is likely to sit in 4th, I think. So yeah, he could well end up. But it just goes to show. So David Hefner, that's just won the main event, is going to probably finish about 3rd. He's had a couple of cashes this week though, so it's not just the one-off that's got him in there. But it's a couple of cashes can normally get you in the top 20. That sends you up the steps. And I say, some of the guys will tell you they've picked up some nice added value tickets over the last few months, from just consistently cashing
Absolutely.
in APAT events. So well worth getting involved in if you can. Don't need to play everything. Just pick and choose. If you can play a couple of nights a week, the $5, $10 games, give them a go. And but we are 5 to the hour, so the 6 players remaining are all going to be on a break for 5 minutes. But this is going to be interesting. See how this plays out.
Looks like a nice little table.
Yeah, even Tony and Scouse here, the lowest 2 stacks at the moment, are still with blinds at 12.5 and 25,000. Tony's still sat with 10 bigs.
Do we know Ashley or Roman, Leigh?
No, Roman Retzman is from Germany. Plays regularly though. Recognise the name quite a lot. Ashley Keith, I don't recognise that much at all. So not sure whether he's played much with us. Let's see whether he's had any other cashes this week.
I don't know if you know this, Leigh. Our chip leader, Paul Haycock, there, 3 goals in APAT events previously.
Has he really?
Yeah, and 4 medals of undetermined other colours.
Some would say he's just been around the block a bit,
nice.
But
experienced.
Experienced. It's no. This would be Ashley Keith's first cash of the week. So, but that doesn't mean he hasn't hasn't played other APAT events at some point. So, So well done to Dan picking up another silver to add to his collection. Scouse trying to win one back here to keep on it, hanging on to his coattails. Keep the medal count. There you go. That's about right.
There he is.
That's about right. So that'll be the end of it. Don't forget that the leaderboard ladders for week number 35, which is what we're on now. So we're just playing out the last event of week 34, which obviously runs over an extra day on championship weekend. But week 35 is already underway. 7 o'clock, the 6 max knockout started. They're on a break there as well. But at 8 o'clock, it's the PLO8 $300 guarantee, $5.50 is that. If you've not played PLO8, so it's high-low PLO where the pot's split and you've got a high hand and a low hand, and you're not necessarily too familiar with it, but what fancy giving it a go. That $5.50 tournament on a Monday night, really good structure, good players that enjoy their PLO8, so a great one to play and help learn teach yourself the game and get involved without it being sort of a crazy buy-in, but you'll get good value from it, from watching the other players, getting involved, and the structure's not say it normally runs for about 4 hours, so to conclusion. So you've got good stack to play with and decent structure. So well worth getting involved in if you fancy giving that a whirl.
Scouse is out there saying, "Was that Ollie walking across the screen?" Very good.
The problem is that if it wasn't for the fact that in the stuff that he does in the media, he doesn't instill you with very much confidence. He just instills you as if like it's like he can't even he can't even quite imagine himself how he's ended up getting here, but he is here. So he just he's like has to pinch himself every time. You maybe might have a little bit, people would have a little bit more, not respect, but a little more, kind of like, okay, there's something about him. The fact is that Steve Forty messaged me last night to say, was there going to be a show? And I said, no. I said, it's too soon because Des is struggling with the fact Liverpool's league campaign is over, having drawn up Brian, so he doesn't really want to do a show. I said I was all for it, and he said, "Oh well, we're only talking about latest results anyway." And I said, "Well, the thing is, I said if it was Ole speaking, it would just be like he'd just be going, oh well, that's football. You have your ups, you have your downs. That's football. That's all he ever says in media interviews. That's it.
But that's the point,
so you just got beaten 5-0. To be fair, he didn't say it after the 5-0, but normally after a defeat, he's like, well, it's football. It's up and down. We go again. And then you'll win. Oh, it's football.
But he doesn't switch that on and off, though, Leigh, right? That's the way he's going to be in the dressing room with his team. So he's a lovely bloke. But if you're a tough, uncompromising player or whatever, you're going to take advantage of that, right? You're not going to run as hard because you're not going to get as, called out for it.
I'd love to see Roy Keane in there as an assistant manager, and doing the kind of, then you've got the proper Ted Lasso experience, haven't you?
I'll tell you what. Let me show you how it goes. Right, Roy Keane steps in there. He's taking the armband from Harry Maguire. Maguire, starts to say something, and all of a sudden, that's it. It's done. Right, it's done already. The problems are over.
Yeah. But who do you say if Maguire's not the problem is Maguire's not he's not vocal enough. He's not a leader. It doesn't come across as a leader. I don't quite know.
Maguire, what have you ever won? What have you ever won? Show us your medals. Well, here's a Premier League, Roy, and here's an FA Cup and 94 England caps, and but what have you ever done in the game?
I don't know why, but of that United squad there at the moment, I don't know who who would grab the team and skipper them.
Fernandes is a bit of a rat.
Give it to Ronaldo. Yeah, but Fernandes maybe. But,
I wouldn't give it to Ronaldo. I worry about Ronaldo.
I wouldn't give it to Ronaldo. He thinks he wants it, but I would. We've had De Gea as captain at times.
Yeah.
I mean, again, as quiet a mouse of player as you're going to get. There isn't really anybody that you kind of go, well, even like a Varane, you go, well, you've got respect in the game, but he's not a captain.
And he's just come in the door, right? He's in. You couldn't give it to Marcus Rashford. He's too young. There isn't anybody, and that's part of the problem, isn't it? Yeah. Because back in the day, United squad had a number of captains. When you look at Man City, they Pep talks about he's got these 5 core captains. His management, is like his senior players. That they're, as far as he's concerned, yes, he's got a club captain, but they're all his captains, and he's got 4 or 5 of them, and always has done. On Liverpool's team, it's the same. You have Robertson, Van Dijk, Milner, Henderson. There's a bunch of them.
Henderson, that are all going to be. We can all do that, and we'll step in. United haven't quite got that.
It's very odd, and that's why I think in that scenario in particular, you need an autocratic manager. You need a manager like a Fergie, for example. Fergie.
Well, it's why Kane as England captain is a nonsense.
Crazy, absolutely crazy,
absolute nonsense. And the problem is once he's made him England captain,
it's impossible to put him back.
You can't drop him. Yeah. And how do you then go? Do you know what? We're going to have a change at this. It's impossible to do. So the only way you do it is by completely dropping him. But you're never going to completely drop him. So he's created this one for his own back now.
No, you say all of that, but the reality is Southgate, and I actually believe that Southgate could do it. You can change your captain, right? You can say, look, Harry, it's not working out. At the end of the day, my call is
you go down the route of, I want you to focus on scoring the goals, and you don't need to be doing this. This is I don't think
a good manager doesn't even need to make excuses. He sort of says, "Look, it's not working out, Harry."
Feels like, but there's so much better people that could be captain of that England side than Harry Kane. He just should be focusing on what he does. But I mean, long may it continue that that they get close but never quite get there. But
actually, do you know, it's an interesting question, Leigh. But who would be the obvious England captain if it wasn't Kane? So Henderson doesn't get in the first 11 there. England, as its core, have a very young team. I wouldn't pick Raheem Sterling for the same reason as Kane. I don't think he's got the right temperament, but also you can't guarantee him a place in the team. I wouldn't have a John Stones.
It's probably going to be Maguire, isn't it?
You'd
really,
be pointing at Maguire.
Yeah.
That would be wrong because I wouldn't have Harry Maguire as your captain.
Yeah.
That'd be bad.
I wouldn't have it. I wouldn't want him as United captain. But
you couldn't even go to the bloke at the back with the short arms. I mean, who would
but even if you look at the long, if you look at the long-standing players, there, so the Walkers, that kind of thing.
Possibly,
not really
yeah.
Captain. But Walker is in that five. Walker is in that five at City.
The odd thing is
in that senior five at City. So
the odd thing is, I think you have a very mature young group of players. So a Declan Rice, a Mason Mount, a Phil Foden are likely to be there for years and years. They all come across as fairly
Declan Rice,
mature.
You kind of feel potentially.
Yeah,
Declan
potentially
Rice,
could
potentially would be the one.
Yeah.
Does he step in as West Ham skipper when?
I'm not sure.
Noble's not playing.
I'm not sure.
I think he might do. I can't think who else it would be.
But he presents himself fairly well when he talks on camera. So he's still very young, though.
I mean, what do you reckon? With where West Ham are at the moment, they were talking about he'd be $1 million if anybody wanted him. $1
million.
I mean, would he even 100 million? Sorry, would he even go for that at the moment with where West Ham are and what they're doing? I mean, he's got no reason to.
I think he probably would. I mean, he was very, very pro a move to Chelsea, wasn't he?
But where would he go? But Chelsea have already got Jorginho and Kante in that.
Yeah, but when has that ever stopped Chelsea
roles?
Before? I mean, Jorginho hasn't scored a goal from open play in years. His last 13 or 14 goals for Chelsea being pens.
But he's not there to do that, is he? Yeah.
I think you want the odd goal.
I mean, how many does Henderson score in a season?
Well, he scored one on Saturday. From the six.
Yeah,
I was there.
Naby Keita, I mean, he doesn't score very often, does he?
No, he scored a few screamers. He scored a screamer against Atletico Madrid a couple of weeks ago, and the match after he got a screamer.
I've not seen.
Didn't he score a little beauty against United after about 3 or 4 minutes?
I don't remember that game.
Should have been called offside, I'm sure.
That was. I think that game got called off. But they played that game on FIFA. They played that game on FIFA 22 in the end. I think. Actually,
I have to say though,
it was just on Twitch. That's all they did with it.
I think Southgate would have made Henderson. It was all about Henderson and Kane at the time. I think if he really believed that Henderson could have kept his place in that England 11, I think Henderson would have been made captain of England.
I
think that's why Kane got it. But if you look around there aren't that many obvious candidates to.
No, England is actually a very similar situation to United in that there's lots of world class players and lots of but none of them that you would go. There's a captain that that's just an absolute no brainer. But maybe captains are different these days. It's that you're not going to get a Terry Butcher or a Paul Ince or a Stuart Pearce or anything like that. As Paul's all in against Tony, and Tony's got the Queen
Jack. Yeah.
So it's flopped the full house. So double up for Tony. Yeah, maybe that type of captain, the grab them by the scruff of the neck captain isn't there. I mean, how many are there in the Premier League? If you looked at all 20 captains in the Premier League, probably there's not many that are absolute, say rip your head off.
Billy's in the
come on,
chat
lads,
box
follow me over the over the top kind of thing.
Billy's in the chat box saying get Vinnie Jones in the dressing room, but I mean we did see a couple of absolute giants in the likes of Vinnie Jones, Roy Keane, Patrick Vieira. I mean there was a bunch of them in the 2000s into the 2010s that were absolute giants from a leadership point of view. I mean Keane was exceptional. Scary.
Maybe it isn't. Maybe it genuinely isn't a thing anymore. It's just that.
It's not a thing because
rally the players to get them going at the beginning of a game. Is that even? Everyone seems to come out and shake hands and they're pally and they're chatty, and the minute the 90 minutes, you
Oh
don't
yeah.
seem to
If you
have
tell
as much.
me, listen, if you tell me that's not a thing,
that needle's not there anymore. It's just isn't, is it?
well, I mean, it is if you watch a Brighton play at Crystal Palace, and I mean,
Yeah, it's few and
we've had
few and far
countless
between,
Liverpool players injured by bloody Everton over the last couple of derbies.
United play Man City though, and it's as friendly
Yeah.
as you can get. It really is. It's just all pally. They're all out for dinner together. The night after or whatever, and it just doesn't have that feel
And
about
that's a
it.
bit. That's a bit the managers,
huge.
isn't it? I mean, Ollie. That isn't Ollie's thing, and Pep is happy as Larry if nobody's going to be targeting his players. He doesn't need that nonsense.
Of course.
He can outplay anyone.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's just the way. That's the way it seems to have gone. Did you hear the story on the weekend about the lower league game that played some of the first half and the second half?
Hey, say that again.
You not heard about this?
No,
So
I don't think so.
I cannot remember the game, so forgive me for not knowing the two teams that were playing. But refs blown for half time. They've gone in, had their 15 minutes. During that 15 minutes, he's realised he didn't play the 4 minutes added on that he was supposed to play at the end of the first half.
Right.
So he's phoned the referees association for some advice. Well, what should I do? And for whatever reason, they've told him, which apparently isn't the rule, but they've told him, well, go out and play the 4 minutes after the halftime break, and then stop, get the teams to turn around and play the second half. So that's what he did. But apparently the rule states that you're not allowed a mistake in the timing of the first half cannot be rectified by you adjusting the timing of the second. But they came out after half time, played the same way for 4 minutes, blew the halftime whistle, they turned around, kicked off in the second half.
That's hilarious. That is absolutely hilarious. I must admit, when what was it? Crikey, who was it? Tottenham and whoever. When was it Newcastle? When the Newcastle supporter got ill.
Oh yes,
who they had to get to defib, right?
This week they've confirmed that he's on the mend, and
which is great,
and
right?
Is recovered, which is
amazing. But when that occurred, it was in the 41st or 42nd minute of the match, and it was obvious there was going to be a delay. And I must admit, I was thinking to myself, referees should take the onus here and sort of say, right, half time, 15 minutes, in you go. You take your half time, we'll see who we are. And we're going to take it 4 minutes early, and maybe we'll add that 4 minutes on to the second half. And of course, he didn't. The players they came off the pitch anyway. They came out, played the last 4 minutes, but it took a 10-minute warm up before they could play the last 4 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So that was one interesting an aside. The other thing that came to mind when you told me that story was, I think it was Salah against United. I don't know if you heard this one, but he scored his third goal earlier than he scored his second goal. He scored his second goal in the 49th minute.
Oh, because the added
in
time
the first half,
on
the 49th minute. He scored his third goal in the 48th minute.
Brilliant. That's very good. I like that. So Greg's in the chat saying Hartlepool's one of the teams in that, but he had him in. So talking about the Newcastle fan, with the defib and all of that. So did you hear the story this week that so Ericsson cannot play in Italy again? Because the league rules are that they won't. But however, he can play in other leagues.
Yeah, it's like
so
Daley Blind in the Netherlands.
So they'll now look. So they'll now look to he'll now look if he wants to carry on playing, which he's apparently, it sounds like he might want to do. That he'll have to not leave Italy to do that, which means technically they can still get a transfer fee for him because he's still registered as a player, or albeit I suppose technically if you can't play there, you could easily go on a free and just get out there.
It's a common. I think it's common sense thing.
It's common sense in what they'll do. I mean, to know, it's an interesting one whether he would want to carry on playing or whether he would just say, do you know what, it's not worth taking the risk.
A number of players have carried on, and there was one player who carried on and has recently he came back and he played for 6 months, but he's recently retired. He's only about 27, 28. I can't put a name in this guy, but it came up as part of the Ericsson story, and it was in dispatches. He gave up because he found out that he'd actually died 3 further times in the 6 months. He found this out via a report after the event, that his heart had stopped at various points during the 6 months.
And he hadn't
I
even
didn't
realised.
really have recollection. It was the defib that ultimately the data coming out of that, at the pacemaker, whatever it was, had suggested.
Oh
that
yeah, the what he's got built
heart
in
had
that basically
stopped.
re-kicks when it needs to.
it ignites, you
So,
know, it ignites and it restarts the heart.
Apparently, they're so good that you might feel a little bit of kind of chest pain, but pretty much it kicks in, and you, to a certain extent, you just think, oh, that was just indigestion or something, and nothing to worry about.
So obviously, if somebody says, "Well, you've died 3 times," now clearly he didn't die 3 times, but his heart stopped 3 times.
But effectively, if he didn't have the defib built in, then
didn't realise it. So thought better of his career, rightly so.
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's there's other things you can do. As much as it might be what you enjoy the most. You think there's nothing different. There are other things you can do. It certainly isn't worth it, is it? Nothing is really.
No.
So that's interesting.
So Ericsson, he could definitely get a job at Norwich. I think he could play in Norwich's midfield. Quite calm there.
I think, to be honest, I think you or I could play in Norwich's midfield.
Well, I'm not sure I could, Leigh. You might be able to get away with it. I'm not even sure I could get into Norwich's team.
I mean, on a positive, if you're obviously, we mentioned the Bromleys earlier on. So if you're a Burnley fan, or I've know plenty of Saints fans and that type of thing. At the moment, you're kind of looking at the bottom of the Premier League and going, well, Norwich are pretty much, they already feel like they already know where it's going. If Newcastle don't get themselves a manager in soon, I don't think it's going to matter how much they spend in January. They are going to be in serious trouble.
It'll be really tough to bring that back.
And then you could then be just talking about one relegation.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of teams on 10 points at the moment, Leigh. It could be any one of them. It could be. You could go 6 points above that and still be easily in that candidate base. Yeah.
But when you're always kind of down in that bottom, the bottom third of the Premier League, and you've got a team like Norwich that at this point in this, I mean, you just make you go, right, okay, it's not 3 relegated, it's going to be 2. So, it's 1. Yeah. Hopefully that doesn't go, because they just don't seem. I mean, the manager must be wondering what, okay, he brought them up into the Premier League in the first place.
It's a very odd one,
relegated.
Isn't it?
They stuck with him. He's come back up again, but they've not invested, and they've signed players that. So Billy Gilmore from Chelsea can't get in that team.
But in fairness, he was in the team, right? He played for several of the first games, and
but for whatever reason, he's not liked it. I mean, we've loaned them. Brandon Williams doesn't start. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's not up to Norwich's choice who they play and what they do.
I find it very strange that
if you're loaning in these players that if they're just there to make the numbers up, they might just as well be making the numbers up back with their parent clubs.
Well, definitely. I don't know about Brandon Williams, but Gilmore's had plenty of opportunities. So if you're saying he's not in the team now, because he might have missed a couple of games through a niggle or whatever, but he was definitely part of the team for the first couple of months. And obviously results were not good, so perhaps he hasn't warranted. Oh, hello. Perhaps he hasn't warranted his seat, Leigh. Oh, sorry, we're back. Let me put that back up.
Yeah, we're back here.
I don't know, but I do find it strange because I saw an interview with Farke before the Leeds game at the weekend, and it was very much it was after their previous game with Chelsea. It was very much, our league position isn't going to be determined by the game with Chelsea, so losing 7-0 is not great, but it's not a problem. It's, it doesn't make any difference to us. It's all about the Leeds game. And then after the Leeds game, which they lost 2-1 on Sunday, I believe it was, it was very much a case, well, we're a little unlucky, but we'll work hard. We'll keep working hard with them on the training pitch. Thinking, really? That is the time when you'd want a manager to come out there and be screaming blood and thunder and, and maybe
seem bothered.
Maybe he shouldn't be panicking as a football manager, but
do you not think though if they go down again, he's got to be going, well, what's he staying there for?
It's really rough one because obviously he got them up, he got them relegated, he's got them up again, and he's going to obviously relegate them again. Obviously, but he's a great manager to get them up. It's, I mean, he's obviously got an incredible relationship with the board and Delia.
Yeah, but it gets to a point where you go, well, okay, well, what are you doing this for? It's not going to make any sense, is it really?
Yeah.
I'd say I just don't get it. Just looking to see now what games he's not played for the last 4 games. Gilmore
might be injured, or else results haven't been good enough, and he hasn't been considered strong enough.
Not injured at all,
because he is a very light player. And I saw him play. I was at Stamford Bridge when Chelsea knocked Liverpool out of the cup in 2019, just before the whole lockdown fiasco, and he was amazing that night. Absolutely brilliant. So a very talented player, but it's easier to be impactful as a talented player when you're surrounded by great players.
He's played four of the 9 games. That's it. Played the first 3, missed the next one, played one after that, and then hasn't played the last 4.
Oh. Mustn't be showing it in training, Leigh. He mustn't be showing it.
Yeah, exactly. And he's not injured, so he's not felt good enough to get into that starting 11 for Norwich that's getting stuffed most weeks. Very strange. Very strange indeed.
Would you have Farke as your manager at Old Trafford?
Nope.
I think I'd like to take over United. We do a very good job here.
What's he done? I mean, this is the problem, isn't it? What's he
but if you go down, Leigh, if you go down, he's a safe pair of hands.
Well, that's a different thing altogether, isn't it? Yeah. But we're back on the same thing.
Don't want to think about that.
You're looking for the next. Just we've got a hand here where Roman's repopped it up against Paul, and Roman's going to take that one down. You're looking for the next Pep. Klopp.
Are you looking for Pep? You're not looking for Pep, are you?
Well, maybe not a Pep, but you're looking for that caliber of manager coming through that you think, okay, they're going to beat him. And is it in this? I mean, the rumor is that obviously Pep's doing another 2 years, and then it'll either be Arteta or Vieira will get that Man City job, which would make a lot of sense if both of them continue to develop up to that point. Vieira has turned Palace around. Or certainly not turned around, but certainly got them playing, a different style, which seems to be working at the moment.
Yeah.
So, and obviously Vieira has come through City and has been over and coached over their team over in New York, and so that's got potential. Arteta obviously was Pep's right hand man, and is now would he step in 2 years' time if he carries on doing what he's doing at Arsenal and say, right, I'll go and take the City job? Maybe he would. But that seems to be logic.
Yeah, the only question I would throw there is that I think City's ownership is much more new age. They're going to be a little less about tradition, and I think the question there might be, could they afford to be seen to appoint a still up and coming manager, or is it essential that they're associated with a global superstar?
I think in another 2 years. I think in another 2 years' time.
What do you
one
think?
Of those two.
But what do you think could either Vieira or Arteta win in 2 years? Pretty much nothing, right? In reality.
But this is the problem. Is this is the issue? It's like United talking about, well, we want a manager that's won stuff, but that's been proven that doesn't get you success necessarily. You look at Klopp before he came to Liverpool. Now he won stuff with Borussia Dortmund. And was he at Mainz before that? I want to say.
Yeah, he played for Mainz as a centre half, and then he took over as their manager. So, he got them promoted from League One to the Bundesliga.
What did he win with Borussia Dortmund? Was it
he
won
the German Championship, German Cups,
once or
got
twice?
To a Champions League final.
Champions League final.
That's it. Well.
But what I'm saying is it's not like he's got like an absolute CV listing, a huge amount of competitions won. That's pretty much it.
I think, and obviously, improving teams and stuff like that, and highly respected for working with players, developing
here's
players.
An interesting one for you. If Klopp goes in 2 years' time, which is possible. That
highly likely.
So what's the plan?
Well, I mean, we're asking the same
Gerrard?
questions as a fan base as you are.
Gerrard, yeah. Is it Gerrard
Well,
at that point?
so
You
okay,
do
so
another 2 years at
let me
Rangers and then
contrast
he's there?
Gerrard. Let me contrast Gerrard with Ole. You would say from either talking to the camera or talking to players, or there is a man that was a captain, he's now a manager, doing a good job. That's the contrast. I think he could look into the eyes of any player at that club and give a command, right? You just get that sense. Now, you'd have said that Roy Keane could have done the same, but he didn't do feck all in management. So there's no guarantees, right? There's no guarantees.
You see his interview with Gary Neville, he's desperate for another opportunity.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But
because he's a football man through and through.
You've had a bunch of opportunities and it's not really worked out. So
the point about Keane is that it is clear that he regularly steps beyond the line of, good judgment, right? So he's got the attributes, but he doesn't know when to turn them off and turn them on.
Do you think what Gerrard's done at Rangers though is anything that special? It's the Scottish League, which is pretty.
Yeah, I think he's done a very good job. I think he's done a very good job. I think they've done.
But
well
do you not think the difference between managing Rangers in the Scottish League and managing a top 6 side in the Premier League is massive?
Yeah, so I'd agree with all of that. The only thing you would say for Gerrard is that he would just as was the hope with Ollie, right? It's always great to see a club legend take the top job. Now, with any manager that you bring in, there's always a risk that it won't work. Some the risk is going to be higher than others, but there's always a risk that it won't work.
Look at Lampard.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but in some instances, you might say, well, I'd want to give them the chance because if it does work, it's a glorious thing, right? It can be era defining, but there's no guarantees. I think it'd be very tough for Liverpool to replace Klopp because I think there'll be a huge hole left no matter who takes over.
If in 2 years' time, if in 2 years' time he was right, yeah, okay, I've done my run, I'm gonna step aside. What would you want? Would you want the best available manager up and coming out there and try and replicate another type of Klopp scenario, or do you go with Gerrard? I mean, there's a
couple of elements, right?
Queuing up managers, is there really? You're not going to want someone like a Conte coming into your or you're not a Mourinho. You're not. It's not going to. It's not Liverpool.
There's a couple of ways you judge this, right? There's the whole experience and all of that stuff, and so a Mourinho would have it in experience, and then there's just looking at a guy and saying, yeah, I'd like this guy to be the manager. So, and that's important too, right? I mean, to have a manager that you do not want to have is a terrible thing.
Mourinho managing your
absolutely right.
No, I mean, as toxic as you're going to
absolutely
get.
So so that was incredibly evident when he was appointed at United that it would be a toxic appointment quickly, and it was doubly evident.
His time at Spurs,
doubly evident when he was appointed at Spurs, but yet he was still appointed. There can't have been too many Spurs fans who looked at that and thought, "Great, we've got Mourinho, world-class manager." I don't think so. I don't think any of them would have looked at his appointment in that way. Some will have said,
"Do you think he'll ever get another job in English football?" I don't think he ever will.
I don't think so. I think the sense now is that he's over the top in terms of his methods.
Oh, actually, Newcastle might take him. That's about the only.
That's his greatest CV. Being able to spend money, isn't it? That's what he does now. I don't know, but so Mourinho, you'd say he has the discipline. He's got a great CV, but there isn't a fan who'd warm to want him to come into your club. Gerrard's on the other side of that. You'd look at him and sort of say, yeah, I'd love to have him, but he doesn't have the CV. But you can see that he has the potential.
What's Liverpool's fans' take on the whole Gerrard to Chelsea transfer saga that did kind of tarnish his Liverpool, kind of career a little bit? But was that just a lot of media push on that?
He's very seriously.
Fans are okay about it, or
well, he very seriously considered the move. And a lot of fans were upset at it.
Stuff and all that, wasn't it?
But I think the minute he committed his future, all the fans came back on side immediately. I mean, Gerrard's he's a legend there. There aren't too many of them from that era. I mean, the team that I grew up with was full of legends: Dalglish, Rush, etc. But there weren't too many Liverpool legends in the the late 90s through to.
I mean, Harry Maguire's got more Premier League winning medals than Gerrard, though, isn't he? Yeah.
To be honest, yeah. I mean, it's true. It's true. But I'd rather have Gerrard in my side, to be fair, than Harry Maguire, now.
I think Paul Haycock's got more medals than just Steven Gerrard. Yeah, winners' medals. I'm pretty sure he has. Yeah.
Just as long as you recognise that Liverpool have more senior trophies than United, that's the important thing.
I think are you one up now, aren't you? Is it one or two?
Yeah, one. We'll take one.
One.
It just needs
one.
to be
it's
one.
Only one, isn't
we're
it?
back. We're back on our perch.
We're still we're still one up on league titles. Is it one?
Well, yeah. I mean,
I think so, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll give you that one.
It's whatever you choose to count, isn't it? it's just it's whatever matters. But I still have a feeling at the moment that Liverpool are likely to win the title before United win the title.
Well, we might win the League Cup.
Might change.
Might love to win the League Cup. Love to win a couple of trophies.
Who have you got in the after the Mickey Mouse draw on Saturday?
Home to Leicester.
Oh, well, at least it's a home draw. That's okay.
We don't get many of those.
Yeah. We'll see. Well, with City going out, it's open, isn't it? Really. So we'll see what comes of it.
I mean,
this has been a very steady with 5 players for a while
very
now.
Quiet, isn't it?
Yeah. Artsim has taken a decent chip lead from Belarus, and our three heroes from the UK are now 3rd, 4th, and 5th, with blinds at 20,000 and 40,000. So it's they're sitting on significantly less than 10 bigs. So.
I've never heard the 3 of them being so quiet.
Yeah, it was all gone quiet in the chat as well. Although I still don't think with Facebook I see everything that's being chatted about. I see there's plenty of people watching, so do give us a let us know you're watching and who you think might win this.
Well, Mr. Ross has put his chips in, so Scouse has a decision. He's got 140 in there. It's unlikely that he passes.
Yeah, it's going in.
Here we go.
It's not 2 great hands. Tony's got the best of it, and Tony's jacks are going to be good, and it's going to leave Steve with Betsy 1 big. So Mr. Steve Redford in the chat says Lee's is very rare, a realistic Man United fan. Yeah.
Well, Scouse shoves him in as he had to. He gets a call from Paul. He gets another call.
And they're all going to call. Yeah.
Roman's in there. Oh, and there's a cheeky raise by Artyom.
Yeah, just goes right. Well, okay, we're not letting you all in on the cheap here. So if you want to get involved, I'm going to.
Scouse has got to love that,
it's a nice
though.
Move. And he's got kings, so Scouse is going to need to hit an ace or run or something here, and he's not going to get there because the pair on the board meant that Scouse's 2 pairs of 10-6 was no good.
Do you like that?
Scouse 5th place.
Do you like that? Do you like that play from Artyom knocking everybody out there with the kings?
Yeah. I think I quite like it because he's got the stack to do it. So you really can use that stack to good advantage and isolate it up against the one player. Worked a treat. Really, I'm not quite sure what the stack, but even if he lost that hand, he would have got
he still gets back. More chips, right? Yeah,
he would have got about 12k back of that. So yeah, it wasn't the end of the world. As long as it was enough to isolate it just against the short stack. So yeah, works perfectly well.
Unlucky Scouse, good deep run. No joy this evening, however. And there's a guy with a few.
No, I think it stays. Just back on Steve's comment about realistic. United. I mean, I was being realistic since Fergie left. I said I didn't think I wasn't expecting whoever was going to come in afterwards. It was the poison shot. It's like they were chatting on. Artsim's all in against Paul, and he's hit an ace, which is going to be good enough. I think it is, and we're going to lose Paul in 4th place, just missing out on adding to his medal haul. But it's the same as they were talking today. Is with the Newcastle boss, you don't actually want to be first in at Newcastle. You want to be second in.
No. Although
we were
if you're
talking about that. A couple of weeks
yeah,
ago,
but if you're first in, it's going to be a great experience as a manager, right?
oh, you can have a lot of splashing around with a lot of budget and trying to do whatever, but ultimately you want to be second in. Let the first one go in and build some foundations, but it won't be quite there. And this is what I mean about whoever comes in next won't be winning Newcastle the title, but they'll be putting the groundwork in for it. But yeah, when Fergie left United, I said, we could easily not win a title for 10 years. And that shouldn't be unexpected. Really shouldn't be.
You're going to think I'm pulling the piss here, but I promise I'm not. And now is the time to get David Moyes back from West Ham. He's done a magnificent job at West Ham.
We should never have let Moyes go as soon as but Moyes should never have been next one in.
Yeah.
It should have been, okay, let's get somebody else in. And when that didn't work, then you put Moyes in. Moyes coming in first because he was Ferguson's choice or whatever. And they didn't give him long enough. I mean, no excuses. He inherited an aging squad that needed a rebuild and wasn't given the funds to necessarily do it. And Ferguson was lucky to win that final title. Should never have won that final title, but did, and that's great. And end of the day, end of the season, whoever's top of the table, does deserve it. But really, we should never have won that. It should never have been that particular year. But he did, and it was just wrong. Well, Moyes is proved, but it's taken 2 stints at West Ham, isn't it? Who did they have in? They got rid of Moyes and brought in the ex-City manager,
Mancini, was it?
Sounds like fancy water. What's his name? Pellegrini.
Yeah. Manuel.
Yeah. And it was very quickly proven that didn't work. And then Moyes has come back in, and given the time, and he's not spent ridiculous sums of money, but he's built a good squad, and they're doing well in the league, having a good cup run, proving they can cope in Europe as well. And
in fairness, he's improved. He has improved a lot of players.
But he's got them working hard, playing well for each other. And there's not many worldy players in there. They're all just doing a good job. So
it seems to me that he is probably akin to the type of manager that United probably want now, stabilizing somebody who can put on an authoritative face to the media, be strong in the dressing room, but not court headlines, or not want to be part of any of the bright lights. You just go in there and do a job, work hard, be honest.
I think he got caught up at United with it all. I think there was times when he was there.
Many would have done.
What am I hearing? I should be doing this and I should be doing that. And what he should have done is just gone, well, I'm just going to do what I do well, and not worry about anything else, and just focus on that and keep his head down and get on with it. But it's very difficult not to get caught up in your Man United manager. Yeah,
I think there's a danger that if the likes of Brendan Rodgers, as Paul says, still 7 in the chat box, unlucky Paul, a really great effort. But there's a danger that if the likes of Brendan Rodgers gets that job next, that because again he hasn't done it anywhere else, as it were, that he might get caught up a little in the bright lights of having finally arrived.
I think so.
At a big club, and that actually that can be destabilizing for a period of time. It
didn't really. Well, what's the Liverpool fan on Rodgers? You didn't have an issue with him as such, but
no, I think he wasn't able
to get you.
Well, he built a great team in 2014. I don't think anybody would question the crossing the line bit. I don't think that was anything other than just bad luck.
They just sort of,
to be honest,
slipped up at the final hurdle.
You could say that, but I don't think anybody told that against him. But I think he was a little bit sort of. It's hard to find the word, but I don't know, just a little bit.
But is it another one that then when he went to Celtic?
Really?
Yeah, when he went to Celtic again, it was there was no competition there, so it was pretty much just a case of boom. Winning title after title after title, nothing to really worry about.
I think, I think it's. I mean, there was obviously no competition as such when he was there in his period. Not necessarily the same now, albeit it's not a good Celtic team the Rangers are up against. But he has shown with Leicester that he is a good manager. He's capable of developing players. So there's no question he brings a lot. I think the only thing that he'd still have to prove is what sort of impact managing a big club would be, because I think he does like a headline, and he does like, a teeth whitening and all of that sort of stuff. And you probably want a manager maybe who's not so thinking about the press in that way.
Tony's all in.
Here we go.
Oh, and Artsim's got there with a straight.
Wow.
And
He's
then
a one-man wrecking crew at the moment.
Did he not get? Oh no, he
Well,
didn't.
Tony got there in the end.
Up and down straight, yeah, up and down straight draw. So actually, it was two pair in the end. That actually, sorry, I thought it was a straight, but it wasn't actually. It was two pair that Tony had. Artsim hit, was all over the straight draws there, but missed in the end. And so Tony gets the double up, which means it's now Roman that's at risk here, but he gets that one through. Artsim still the very much the one in control of this. Yeah, but it's going to be an interesting, certainly the next 2 or 3 years, I think, the kind of managerial merry-go-round, because say Pep's confirmed that, or said that he's not going to, he's going to see out this contract. Klopp has sort of talked along the lines of, he won't go anywhere after Liverpool because he'd take a break, which is what he was supposed to do before he took the Liverpool job in the first place. As there's 2 all-ins again, and Tony's hit an ace, but so's Artsim. So it's going to come down to a kicker. Is it the Jack kicker plays? It is. The Jack kicker plays against Tony's 10 kicker.
That's kind of we'll lose Tony in, an important impact on the leader board.
Yeah, in the third place, which means he's not going to. That means he's not going to catch Mark Winsell. Unfortunately for Tony, he is going to finish in third place. Yeah, but picking up bronze medal though. That's another medal making its way to Ilfracombe, which is always good. They embed them on the cliffs down on the shore. You can go and get your photo taken with them. It's very impressive, to say the least. And there's an APAT gold medal on the 18th hole of the mini golf as well. Which if you manage to get the ball in the hole off the APAT medal, they give you a free game. Which is fantastic, isn't it? I think
that's not a bad idea at all, Leigh. I mean, I'm seeing a sort of a lot of mini golf courses across the country with APAT medals. I'm liking that very much.
And all in the call here. This could all be over. No, it's not, because Roman's jacks are good. Artsim had the ace. I mean, to be fair, Artsim's done this throughout this final table. It's quite loose. You see some of the hands that he's making the calls with. It's not.
He can certainly afford to do it at the moment, Leigh.
But whilst he's got the stack, now is the time to. If he wants to try and put this to bed now, that's the time to do it. That is for sure. It's Belarus versus Germany, though. Roman from Germany and Artsim from Belarus. So Scouse and Dan are still having discussion over who's actually ahead in the medal count.
Have you told them yet we don't count online medals?
Yeah. People still count the little ones from season 1 where you had I'm the Venezuelan poker champion from 2006. Yeah. Yeah, I think I've got a few of those the little medals. They're quite good. Maybe we should bring the little medals back.
The little
they were good.
Were
I like those. Nice size. They're nice size. They were good medals.
Because a lot of people.
I'll tell you what people always say. So I'll tell you what people always say. We talk about medals a load, and we joke about it, but genuinely people care about them and want to win them.
Yeah.
Literally every single time we send a medal to somebody new who's never won an APAT medal before, or that have never been at a live event, so they've never even seen them. They go, wow, that's bigger than I thought they were going to be. Yeah, literally without fail. It's like, well, they were expecting some little piddly medal thing. No, they are proper, door stopper medals. So, and that's it. It's going to be it.
Artsim gets there.
Well, he flopped straight, and that was good enough. And Roman couldn't do any better than that. And so that is going to be that. And we have a winner, and it's Artsim Prostak from Belarus. So very well done to him. Roman Retzman from Germany picks up the silver, and Tony Ross from the Kingdom of Ilfracombe finishes in bronze medal position. So just to confirm those prizes, Artsim picked up $1,134, Roman picked up $718, and Tony has to settle for $490.58. But that's pretty decent, I think.
That's pretty decent.
All in all, I'll just quickly finalize the old leaderboard for the day. Tony did fall just short at the end there, unfortunately. But let's see if we can.
Leigh,
yeah,
we can eat this week. We can eat this week.
We'll be good for for another week, which is always nice. Always nice when we can do that. See if I can just get that in reasonable shot so you can see the most of it.
Oh, yeah. Do you want me to go to it?
That'll do. That's good enough to show the.
There we go.
Anyway, show the top ones. So Mark Winsell, he finishes top of the leaderboard, 4 caches.
Job.
Well done, very well done to Mark. He's going to pick up 3 lots of $5.50 tokens. Tony Ross finishes in second. He's on step 4 at the moment, so he's going to pick up 2 $33 tickets. David Hefner for winning the main event tonight and another cash earlier on in the week. He's going to pick up a couple of tickets, to $5.50 tickets. Brendan Byrne, the young whippersnapper, 3 caches this week. He's on step 4, so he's going to pick up a couple of $33 tickets. And Stefan Reisberger from Austria, 3 caches in the week. He's going to pick a couple of others. So Richard Rudling Smith, GMAC is also in there. Aaron is in there. Margaret Orgill, who plays regularly with APAT, is in that list as well. So Di Farrell unfortunately finishes in 21st, so is going to drop down from step 2 to step 1 for next week. But we do it all again.
I see Artyom made the top 20 on tonight.
Yeah, just on tonight, just scraped in
Nice job.
19th place. So,
Nice job.
Yeah, well done. Obviously, if you play the bigger runner events, that's where the prize are. We don't buy-ins. We don't affect it at all. So it's literally it's done on number of runners and your finishing position. Just get in the cash, you get points. Doing it all again this week. Say it's week 35 of Leaderboard Ladders. This week we give away tickets every single week.
Fantastic.
So good luck if you're playing this week.
Thank you, Leigh. Well done to everyone, and we love you guys. Continue to play with us. Have some fun. Leigh and I will be back next Sunday night. As Leigh said, lots of tourneys taking place during the week. And once again, we'll crown another Leaderboard Ladders champion. So until then, have a great week, folks. And we'll see you on the weekend. Cheers.
Take care, guys.